This week on NintenDomain, it is our 200th episode. We're going to talk about our top 10 games of 2019.
2019 killed the 2018 star.
I got 12 games.
12 games. That's a lot of games. Welcome to NintenDomain Podcast.
It's almost a dozen.
Episode 200. We are your hosts. I'm Trey, Top 10 Suspense Johnson.
I'm Jeremy, PS4 and Toys to Life for Life, Mikowski.
And I'm John, Technicality Knitter.
Technicality? Uh-oh. Is your list going to be... No Netflix stuff. No Netflix shows this time.
You're not
Sorry.
allowed to... Netflix isn't a game.
No Balderdash, whatever the fuck it was called.
You can play it so many different ways. It's almost like 10 different games in one.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we're here. We're back from Christmas break. It's a new year on the show. It's a new 100 episodes. We're in the 200s now. It's crazy. 200 episodes. Yeah. We're all like kind of sick, so we're all going to sound super gravelly. So that's fun. So if you hear it,
a little gravelly, a little watery.
I'm going to try not to. I'm going to try not to like sneeze or cough and stuff on the show here, but you just have to deal with my voice. But if you're still listening by now, I'm sure you've dealt with it before. But we're live on Twitch also, and if anybody wants to comment on our list, we will talk about it, of course, on the show. So if you hear us mentioning comments and stuff, that's what that's all about. But yeah, let's start. I figured that we'd do, since this is our first one back from Christmas, we'll talk about, Christmas gifts that we got, any sort of video game related type stuff like that. I'll go first. I actually don't have a whole lot because mostly what I've been playing is the stuff off the 2019 top 10 list, of course, so I'm not going to get into that yet. But I did end up with a couple. I got a $20 eShop gift card from Jess's brother, Tim, for Christmas, so thank you. I also got a $50 gift card from John. Thank you. So I ended up with $70 on my eShop, so that's pretty cool. I ended up getting I got Jackbox Party Pack 4 with it, and we actually played it way too much to the point where I need a big break from it because we played I actually was a big fan of Fibbage 1, the Jackbox Party Pack 1, just the fact that you can play it with multiple people and you can use your phones to play it with, and you don't have to worry about controllers and stuff. And I like that one so much, like we like playing Fibbage 1 so much that I was like, well, let's see what other ones are on there. So I bought the one that had Fibbage 3 on it, which is pretty cool. And there's also a game on there called, it's called like You versus the Internet, it's called Surviving the Internet. And that actually kind of became like my favorite game on there. But we played it so much that I got kind of really tired of it by the end. But we played it a lot at Jess's brother's house. And then my sister and my nieces came over for New Year's Eve, so I spent New Year's Eve with them, and we played the shit out of it New Year's Eve, like to the point of like where I was kind of tired of it, where I'd run out of zingers by the end of the night. It wasn't fun anymore, But
it's a fun game, but I only played like 2 or 3 matches of it the time I played.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. We'll have to play the internet one whenever you're here because I think it's pretty cool. It's basically the internet one. They'll basically ask you something. They'll tell you a thing, and they want you to comment on it, and then your comment will get sent to somebody else in the group, and they'll actually make up a title for that comment, and then everybody reads it, and whichever one people thinks is the funniest one is the one that they vote for, and that's basically how that game works. So it can be a lot of fun if you if you have the right people in there who can make some good jokes about stuff. But they'll ask you like hashtag things, or they'll ask you to like make up GoFundMe companies and stuff like that. And the whole premise of it's supposed to look like a PC like desktop from the 90s, so it has like really funny looking low poly stuff, and there's all these random ads that'll pop up and stuff like that. So it's very much like playing into that type of thing. And it ends with like a picture that you'll basically comment on. And and that's how it works. So that's how we play it. That's what we played the most. And also
we got the Jackbox Party Pack 1 as well.
Yeah, you got the first one, which we played a lot of that too. But it kind of was starting to get to the point where we were getting the same. I was running into a lot of the same questions on Fibbage again, so I was ready for a new Fibbage, because that was the one that I played the most out of that was the Fibbage one. But we
played a lot of You Don't Know Jack.
Yeah.
That's a classic. I just love that game.
Yeah, we tried playing that. I don't understand the way it works, so I kind of suck at it. We played it one time to get like I don't know the rules, so I kind of didn't do very well because some of it goes so fast that if you don't know what you're doing, you won't get any points.
There was like a million of those, weren't there?
Well, there's a million of them on Switch.
Yeah, I think they started coming with PCs back around like late '90s or 2000, so I think everybody had them. I think they went away for a bit, but yeah.
No, I mean they're still. I mean, I don't think they really went anywhere because they still have a new one like every year. It feels like, or maybe a couple, because there's 6 of them on Switch right now. Yeah. Like I just looked into them, and there's like Jack Party Pack Part 6 like just came out, and I see people are playing it at the Twitch meetup that I went to, so it's still a thing. And I know they do a lot.
I talked to 2 people just randomly who also bought it this year, so I guess a lot of people were jumping on the Switch sale.
Yeah, they were all on sale. All of the versions were. So yeah, I bought mine. Mine was 15 marked down from like 20 or 30 or something. I don't remember.
But I got the first one for 10, and then the game that we played by far the most was Drawful. Like
Drawful's fun too.
We loved Drawful. That was great.
Yeah, Drawful's cool. That's the one where you like where you basically all of you draw a picture, and you'll like try to guess what the picture is, and it's kind of similar to Fibbage, where if somebody like picks your thing that you thought it was, you get points for it. It actually
you draw the picture, and then it says what is this for the other players to guess what it is.
Yeah.
On their own, and then it's almost like the other players come up with the multiple choice answers.
Yeah, that's how
the other players vote on the answers. Yep.
Yeah, that's the same as that's how Fibbage works. Like Fibbage was my favorite one because of that, because it's basically they ask you a question, you make up answers that you think, and those end up being the other choices that aren't the true one. And if you somebody answers your answer, you get points for it. And also you can just go crazy with it and just be funny, and you can get points for it in Fibbage 3, but not 1, where they give you some extra points just for getting likes and all that. But yeah, no, the Drawful one kind of reminds me of a game that we call Tits in a Box. It's a game that Jess plays with her friends on Thanksgiving. But it basically you write down a sentence on a piece of paper, and you like fold it into like eighths or something, and you pass it to the next person. They draw a picture of that sentence, and then you pass it to the next person. They write what they think that picture is, and then the next person draws a picture of what they and it's kind of like a telephone, but with like pictures and pictures, the sentences. And Drawful's kind of like that, but like smaller, where it's like one picture and everybody's describing it, but the way to describe it is all kind of the same, depending on how good the picture is.
Box.
I have no idea why it's called Tits in a Box. They just call it that. I don't know. Maybe just can come on the show sometime and explain it. I don't know. I don't know why they call it that.
I like Drawful so much that I actually went and bought Drawful 2 as well.
Is it different from the other one? Because I thought about buying it also, but I wasn't sure if it was, because they had the same icon on the front, so I wasn't sure if it was a different game or not.
The big difference is that you can use 2 colors, so it helps you to tell what the drawing is a little bit more.
Oh, okay.
And then you can also create your own matches. Like, I can create an entire game myself, and then later, play it with other people.
Oh,
so that's the big difference, yeah.
So you can like change the rules, like customize it?
Well, like you can come up with all the prompts, basically. Like you can write down, draw a giraffe doctor or whatever you want.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Oh, that's cool. So so you can
make your own game,
customize it. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, no, I thought about getting that just to, have another one because it was on sale. I wasn't on sale for like $3 or something like that. It wasn't very expensive. Yeah. I think that sale's probably sailed by now.
I think
but
it goes until the 4th.
Oh, okay. So I could pick it up
in the next couple minutes.
Yeah, true. I mean, it's the 4th now here. I don't know how that. Sometimes it goes later than midnight. I don't know what time zone it goes by. But yeah, we played a lot. We played a lot of that game of that checkbox. Almost said Tits in a Box again, but yeah, Jackbox stuff. There's a game on the.
They both sound dirty.
There's a game on Jackbox Part 4 that has there's a drawing game in that called Civic Doodle, is what it's called, and you basically it'll like give you like one little drawing and you add to it, and 2 people will draw on it on the same time, and you'll vote for which one you like the best, and then it keeps going and going and going like that. And in that one, you have like 9 different colors that you can use. So there's a lot of extra stuff you can do on that. So we played that one as well. But I think that one and the internet one's the best one on there. There's a really weird one called Monster Meets Monster or whatever, and you have to like flirt with each other and like try to date each other, and it's like so weird to play with your friends. Like it's because all you're really doing is texting each other and like hitting on each other with your phones, and it's really bizarre.
It's like a first date game.
We tried
not like a party game.
We tried playing it like with me and Jess and her friend Ian, and it was just weirdly awkward, and it kind of like froze in the middle. And we quit out of it, and we're like, we don't have to play that one anymore. We're like, yeah, that one's weird. It was.
They use that for like a mixer or something.
Yeah, for like a singles party or something. It's weird though, because like computer players will come in and they'll be like, do you want to date the robot that's in here, and like stuff like that. So it's strange. And then there'll be other ones and you have different powers that you can use. Like if somebody rejects you, you can take like half their life and stuff like that. But it's a weird game. But yeah, we played a lot of that. That was the first thing. I ended up buying that because we had a big party coming over, and a lot of people like really enjoyed it. And what's cool about the Fibbage is like, you actually you can play with 8 people, but actually if you have more than 8 people, they can actually play it as well. They can come in and be audience, and they can add more like multiple choice options to it as well. So you can play with up to like 12 people on there.
That's cool.
Like even not even, and I think we got to the point where we almost broke the game because we had so many phones like connected to it at once, where it was starting to get a little, where sometimes it wouldn't fully connect like right at the right time. Also the internet signal was a little weird like in that space that we were playing. But yeah, it was a big hit. Like everybody really liked it and all that. And that's what
I do like that. It just lets you use your controllers because that makes it accessible to anybody.
Yeah, use your phones. So you can, and some of them do like you can play with like 16 people. I think there's like a bracket one where you make up names and you vote for like one or another like for like whatever question it asks you. And I think you can play that with 16 people. So
I wish they did that with more games. Like imagine just like poker, like Texas Hold'em. That'd be great.
Yeah,
or like
games that everybody knows and they can jump into.
Or
yeah.
Or like that one game.
Settlers in Catan would be.
That one. Yeah, Catan. That's what I was gonna say. Because that is on there, but it's not. But there's no way to play it like 2 people in the same room. You have to have 2 different systems, and all that. It'd be great if you could. There was
a Kotaku article recently that said the Jackbox party games are some of the best games of the decade. And in my couple hours of playing the one that I have, I think I might have to agree. You know. If I had played it before with my games of the decade list, maybe I would have put it on there.
Yeah. They're
it feels like the excitement of the
fun.
Wii a little bit, like Wii Sports back in the day. It also feels like something like Cards Against Humanity or something like that. That was really, really fun the first time you played it with a group of people. And
except it's a lot more creative. You actually get to write your own.
No,
stuff.
I agree, but I'm just thinking of what it reminds me. Like
sure,
things.
Yeah, no, I mean it's cool. It's definitely a lot of fun. It even reminds me a little bit of WarioWare in some ways. Like there were some weird WarioWare games on Smooth Moves that were kind of like that. So, but yeah, no, it's a really good party game, and it's great for people who don't even play games. Because everybody knows how to type shit on their phone or draw badly or whatever. So.
Right, like my mom, the day after we played it, she said, "Oh, let's play it again."
Yeah.
My mom, 67, doesn't play video games. Wanted to play the game again.
Oh yeah. Yeah, my mom was ready to buy it, and like my sisters were gonna buy it, and
yeah, she was thinking about buying a Switch. She actually said, "How much is a Switch?"
Wow. Well, you can get it on Steam or on your phone or whatever. You don't have to get. And it's the fun thing about you don't even really need a TV that much. Like we played this game at Jess's grandma's house with like no phone, just on the tabletop Switch, because you don't really have to look at the screen because it tells you everything you need to know on your phone. So it's like you don't even really need a TV for it.
I think the screen just adds to the spectacle of it all.
Yeah.
Making it feel more like you're in a giant game show.
Sure. I mean, well, I guess like the options. Well, the options will be on the TV, but they also are on your phone because how else would you pick them? So it's you don't necessarily need it if you have a place where you want to play tabletop. Not necessarily everybody needs to see it. So
yeah, I played it this past Halloween at a friend's house at a party, and they just had their PC set up in their living room with the monitor on the wall. So I mean, it was pretty much a console, but They were just running it off Steam.
Yeah, my mom just got a PS4, so I was like, I was like, you can get it on PS4. You can get it on anything. It's on everything. You can even play it on your phone, or whatever.
Well, she probably wants to play Far Cry 5 too.
Yeah, right.
That's why she got a PS4.
Yeah, they've never played. I mean, I set up the PS4 for them because it was just like sitting in the basement, like in a box. Like they bought it at Black Friday, and I came there at Christmas and it was still in the box. I'm like, are you guys gonna play this ever? So I was like, do you want me to set it up? Because you guys never set it up or anything. And
Did
I
she
had
play games, or was it something that she wanted to buy for? Like,
I
when
think
people come over, or what?
I think I don't know. Her like my stepdad, I guess, wants to try to play a Madden game or something, but he like doesn't really play games, and he never really ever did. But I got him a pinball game because he plays a lot of pinball, you know, whenever it's available. But I don't know. It's kind of weird. I guess they wanted to have like to be able to access like Netflix and stuff like that. And plus, I got Disney Plus for my mom for Christmas.
Oh.
But I also
you can use Blu-rays too.
And I ended up getting them a Chromecast also because they didn't know what one was and they really needed one. I was trying to tell them, I was like, dude, Chromecast like that changed my life, man. You need.
It's a great gift. I got one for my parents a couple years ago.
I was gonna get it a couple years ago, but I was like, oh no, you already got streaming stuff on your TV, but it doesn't really work very well. Like they have like a smart TV and a smart Blu-ray player, but you can't get like Disney Plus and like all these other streaming things that are on there. Like my stepdad has like ESPN Plus, you know, so he pays extra to get all these like college basketball games and stuff, but he can only watch it on like his laptop, you know. So I showed him how he could watch it through the Chromecast, and it just like blew his mind, you know, that you could like play anything off of your phone on the TV. They just, weirdly enough, they had never seen it before, so it was a cool thing to get for them.
I love the Chromecast. It's probably the best value to use ratio of any electronic device I bought.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, I don't really use anything off of a console anymore to watch stuff in the main living room where we watch stuff because like you don't have to. The only thing I do is I'll do Amazon Prime off the PS3 because if you want to buy stuff for that, you can't do it through your phone. You have to do it through, which is so weird and stupid. But apparently you can only do it through consoles if you want to like straight up buy or rent a movie or whatever through Amazon Prime. So I do that through PS3 or PS4. But yeah, no, it's a cool thing. But yeah,
I recently got the trial for Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And I haven't been able to get it to work on my phone. I don't know if maybe my phone's not compatible with it. But because of that, I can't stream it through the Chromecast, which is annoying. So I've been running it through my PS4. It's fine.
I thought it worked on everything.
Well, for whatever reason, I can't get it to work on my phone.
Didn't they say it was going to be on Switch on launch day?
They said it was going to be on Switch. I think the only way you can get it right now is if you get the Hulu bundle with it. Then you can play it. Because there's that bundle where you get Hulu and ESPN and Disney for like $12 a month. You have to get that.
The Hulu app?
Yeah, and it all goes through the Hulu app, so then you could use it through Switch.
I got it.
I don't know if that's their like excuse for it, but they did say that it was going to be on Switch, and it isn't. I figured it would be its own standalone thing, you know, but whatever. But yeah, we've said enough about Jackbox, right? About Jackbox Party Pack for right now. So yeah, I got that. I did that with my first Switch money that I got. I jumped on that just to donate to the party that was coming up, and then John gave us the big one, which I ended up getting Slay the Spire with part of that, and I still have like $25 left on there that I'm just leaving on there.
Yeah, that was partly a wedding gift since I didn't get a wedding gift.
Sure, I didn't get it. I told Jess, if there was anything she was interested in checking out, I could do it. But I also got, because I had already gotten the Jack Party Packs, which was pretty much a game for all of us to play with the other one. I didn't feel that bad about getting Slay the Spire. But yeah, I got that game. It's pretty cool. I was hanging out with Ian, and he was playing, what was it, that game that I had on my top 10 list last year, which I can't remember, Dead Cells. He was playing Dead Cells, and I was having an itch to play like a roguelike, so I went for Slay the Spire, and yeah, it's a cool game. It's basically an RPG if you took out all of the story and town stuff, and it's just all fights.
It's card-based, right?
Yeah, it's card-based, but that really doesn't bother me. It actually kind of I mean, it's roguelike, so basically you'll start with a basic deck, you know, and you have different characters that you'll unlock as you go that have different properties, whatever. But you get more cards every time you beat somebody, and you're basically kind of like you pick like 4 different pathways, and you get to choose where you go left or right, and you know you'll randomly run into like campsites where you can heal yourself. As far as I know, you can't heal yourself aside from that. You also run into merchants and stuff, and like random stuff that you can interact with, where it'll be like, oh, you found this like monster, or you found this hole. Do you want to put your hand in here? Like stuff. There's one like that where it's like, where it's like you can put your hand in this hole that's gonna like bite you, but the more you put it in it, the higher chance you'll get whatever's in there, whatever the prize is. There's stuff like that in there, but no, it's very much like a bare bones RPG. You know, where you're just fighting most of the time, and it's pretty cool. It works really quickly. I made it to like the 2nd level. I made it through the first boss on it, but that's about as far as I've gotten. But I understand the appeal of it because it's really quick and it changes every time, and yeah, it's pretty cool from what I've seen of it so far. I haven't really played that much. I think I played like maybe a couple hours of it. But yeah, it's card based, but it doesn't feel, I don't know, it doesn't feel overly cardy. I mean, it's just like the cards are your moves, you know, like Color Splash. Like that all over again. So you don't have to paint them before you put them on people, you know. So yeah, I got that. But those are my two. I mean, those are my 2 new games that I got. Really, I mean, I got a bunch of new games because they were on sale, but I haven't really played any of them, so I don't really have much to. I just got them because they were on sale. Like I think I mentioned it in our Christmas episode. I got Axiom Verge and Sinking City and Alien Isolation. I played a little bit of Alien Isolation, but I played it handheld, and I wanted to play it on the TV because it looks so good, so I only played like a half hour of it and then put it to the side. But that's what I've been playing so far. Oh yeah, and also I got new Joy-Cons from my mom for Christmas. So
Nice.
I got the purple and orange ones. So now I can officially do what I always wanted, and I can do the purple and green Nintendo Switch right here.
Beautiful.
So this is always what I wanted to do, so I can do that. So hopefully
Why did you always want to do that?
Because those are my 2 favorite colors, are purple and green, and I like that color scheme. It goes all the way back to the Constructicons from Transformers. I always loved the way purple and green look together.
Was that not available color schemes? That looks very Splatoon.
No, the Splatoon is pink and green.
Yep.
Because I had the Splatoon one, and that one's pink and green, and my pink one died. My pink one got the drift, so it had to get axed. But yeah, no, I wanted purple and green, and now I have it. So, but yeah, I think that's it as far as Switch stuff for me for Christmas.
Well, I'll kind of run through mine pretty quick here, and gonna hear a little bit more about this from John. Actually, you know what? I'll wait until John says his. I also got a Robot Named Fight because every time that goes on sale in the eShop, somebody on
99
Reddit's
cents.
like, "Get a Robot Named Fight." You gotta get a Robot Named Fight. It's an amazing game. It's fine. I mean, maybe I'll get into it eventually, but so far it just feels like kind of a cookie cutter Metroidvania clone, except that it's a rogue.
Yeah.
Like, so it's fine.
I saw that you got it, and I was like, "Oh, what's that?" And I saw it was 99 cents, and I looked into it a little bit, but yeah, it didn't really like.
It goes on sale
pique my
quite
interest.
often.
Yeah.
I guess I've seen it on the sales before, but it was a gold coin purchase. I just was like, I want a game for whatever reason. I was just feeling impulsive, and I bought that.
Sure.
I also picked up Graveyard Keeper. My friend's been recommending this game to me for months now. And let me tell you, Graveyard Keeper is weird.
I found something actually on the subject of that. Aren't there 2 games? Isn't there Gravekeeper and Graveyard Keeper?
Yeah, which is confusing.
Yeah,
because Gravekeeper went on sale first.
Yeah.
And I got excited.
Yeah, there's 2 different
and
games.
I was like, wait a minute, that's not it.
Yeah.
And then a couple days later, I checked it, and Graveyard Keeper was on there.
Yeah, because I was looking through the eShop trying to find it. I'm like, wait a second. There's 2 games on here that are like almost the same, Gravekeeper and Graveyard Keeper. Yeah, that's incredibly confusing.
So far, though, I mean, I'm liking it, but it's a game that definitely requires you to look online, just like Minecraft used to be back in the day, and I guess Stardew Valley to a certain extent if you're not wanting to bumble around. Graveyard Keeper is probably the most of any of those that I've. Well, no, I guess Minecraft was even a little more because there had been nothing like it before. But I played this game for several hours before I finally figured out how to make the most basic items that it took to craft stuff. Because there's just all these weird systems in it that the game will very briefly explain to you, but there's no like place to find a tutorial. Also, anytime like a NPC asks you to go on a quest for them, it'll just say it really quick, but then as far as I can tell, it doesn't keep track of it anywhere, so you just have to be on top of it or take a screenshot or something because...
Weird.
Yeah. Everything about this game is strange, but I can see it becoming appealing eventually. It looks an awful lot like Stardew Valley. It seems like it's borrowed a lot of mechanics from that game. But instead of, just making friends with a town full of people, you're some kind of weird... You're in some weird alternate dimension and you're running a graveyard and there's just a steady influx of bodies and you have to perform autopsies on them and bury them and you harvest resources from them, the bodies themselves.
Oh, weird.
And that's all I really know so far. There is like character building, like as far as you build your relationships with different people in town to get different missions. And it kind of seems like maybe there's sort of a good or bad character arc you can choose. Depending on who you align yourself with early on in the game, but I don't know for sure that's even a thing. It's just kind of what I'm gathering so far. But yeah, Graveyard Keeper, I mean...
Keep the graves.
It was like $5 or $6. I say it's worth that if you like these sorts of crafting, running around, grinding games as much as I do. I also bought a PS4 game this week. I picked up the Resident Evil 2 remake because I've been hearing so much about it.
Nice.
I know it was probably going to come to the Switch eventually.
Maybe. I don't know.
Everything does.
I don't know. I mean, it seems pretty graphically intense. I don't know.
It is. It's a beautiful game.
Yeah, I have it.
As beautiful as, rotting zombie faces can be.
Sure. Well, I mean,
you get a good deal on it because it's been available for a while, hasn't it?
Yeah,
it came out last year, but I think it came out early last year.
No, it came out this year. Or, well, last year, yeah,
That's
technically. It came out 2019.
It was, I think it was $12.99.
Yeah, no, it's cheap. I got
it. It was a really good price.
I got mine for $30, I think, and that was when they were doing the big PlayStation sale when I bought Spider-Man for $20 also. So, yeah, it goes on sale a lot. So
I think especially since I've been playing Disney Plus I've been using Disney Plus on my PS4. Then I saw that this game was on sale, like on a splash screen or something. I was like, "What? I want to play that." And I mean, I haven't played very much of it, but it looks great.
It's hard, man. Like I tried.
One of the best looking games I've seen, probably.
Yeah, I played through the demo, like the 1 hour, like one shot demo that they did, and I bought the game and I tried to play it, but I died pretty quickly in it. Like I thought it was hard. Or maybe I just suck. I don't know. Like I ran out of bullets really quickly.
I ran out of bullets very quickly. So
yeah, it was almost immediate. I felt like.
We'll see what happens.
And then
we'll see
I died.
How far I get.
Yeah.
So far, I got through the first big cinematic where you move to the second part of whatever the first mission is, and then I quit. So I'm not very far at all. Last I checked, I still had no bullets though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I look forward to playing that off and on over the next couple of years probably. But I never did play much of the first Resident Evil 2, so this is kind of fun.
Yeah, I had played the 64 one before.
Yeah, I had a 64.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when that one came out, I played because I was on the Gaming Outsider and they were talking about it, and I actually made a point to play my 64 Resident Evil 2. And so when I came into it, I kind of had an idea where stuff was, but they've changed a lot. Like it's very much like the Resident Evil 1 remake, where a huge percentage of it is different. But I hope it comes to Switch eventually. But it does look really, really good, and I don't know. They'd have to tone it down a lot, I'm sure. Not in the violence department, but in the graphics department.
Mm-hmm. And then finally, well, I guess that's all I bought this week. I've been playing Witcher 3 a lot this week. I'm starting to really enjoy it and really feel the inclination to play it when I have the chance to.
I've been playing it too, but I didn't want to talk about it because it might be on a list somewhere.
Yeah. But yeah, that is all I will mention for now.
All right, John, what do you got?
Yeah, so I got a bunch of stuff. So included in my 12, I said I got the Jackbox Party pick. So that's why I said technicality.
Mm-hmm.
But I did end up getting a lot of other stuff besides that. I got Starlink.
Yeah, both of you guys got Starlink. You forgot to mention that, Jeremy.
I forgot to mention something else too, but yeah, I'll mention it when John mentions the corresponding.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Well,
but yes, we both did get Starlink.
Yeah, it went down. I waited until after Christmas. It went down to $6.
I think it's worth.
A great spot for me.
I think it's worth that much for the toy. Yeah, I still don't think the game's good. So I mean, yeah. So I think
I'm curious to actually try it because I remember trying it at E3 for 5 minutes or whatever.
It's fun for 5 minutes.
It's pretty cool.
I had a weird memory in my head because I remember you talking about being there and being on the show floor, and I was when Trey and I were doing the bonus episode a couple weeks ago. I totally misremembered as though I were the one that had played it. Mm-hmm. I was like, I remember. Well, not that I played it, but I thought that we had seen it at the first Switch event we went to, and I was like, no, that was when John was on the E3 show floor, and you actually got pictures of it and stuff for us.
Yeah,
that's what happens when you do 200 episodes. All your gaming memories just merge into one.
Yeah.
We're a hive mind now.
Yeah.
We've all experienced the same things. But yeah, no, I'm kind of bummed out because I bought mine about a week before, but I paid $8 for it.
Yeah, but I mean, I paid $30, so I'm the one who got the worst of the stick here. So I mean, I paid $30 on a Black Friday thing, and I'm the one who hates it the most. So I'm the one who got the bad deal here.
But I haven't even
5 Sterlings.
Yeah, I haven't even really considered even opening it. I don't know when I would. Not that it looks particularly great in the box, but it's just as of now. Maybe when I move and I redo my office setup eventually, I'll bust it out. But for now, I just bought it because I thought $8 for that. That seems like something I should do for that R-Wing.
Yeah, the toy is cool. I mean, there you go.
It's about the cost of an amiibo.
Yeah.
Maybe even a little cheaper at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's way cheaper than amiibo. Amiibos are $15.
Dude.
I haven't actually picked it up yet. I ordered it online just to make sure. I don't want to chase around, find the Best Buy that had it. So it's going to come to that Best Buy on next Wednesday. I'll go pick it up.
Okay.
So I haven't played it yet. But
so you don't have it physically yet?
I don't actually have it, but I bought it.
I ordered it through Best Buy. They gave me free shipping and sent it the very next day.
Oh, that's what that extra $2 will do for you.
Yeah, there you go.
They'll send it to your house, yeah.
Yeah, what else did I get? So, I finally got Saints Row the Third, the full package.
Fuck yeah, man.
I love it.
That game's awesome. It's a lot of fun.
I'm glad my gold points, so I ended up paying like $16 for it.
Yeah, I'm glad you got it because it's a good game.
You've been considering buying that for a long time.
I had been. $40 was still too much for me.
I was trying to push you on it because it is really good, and it's funny when you turn it on first. I'm sure you noticed that, where it throws like 20 things at you because you have like because you have the ultimate version, so it's like boom,
it
boom,
seriously
boom,
takes like
boom,
2 minutes
boom.
to go through all the things that they fire at you. Hey, you got this, you got that. I haven't played the game yet.
Yeah, no, they totally do that because it's as you get in most Game of the Year stuff, it's like, oh yeah, by the way, you got this and this and this and this and this and this because we're giving you everything that was in DLC, when it was way back when. So
yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. I think I've put maybe 6 hours into it.
Oh yeah.
My favorite mission I've played so far is there's one where you're directing a movie, or you're acting in a movie rather.
Oh yeah, I played that one. Yeah.
I thought that was really cool how it goes into a cinematic and everything. So part of the game, if you haven't played the game, it's obviously like Grand Theft Auto, but it's got its own unique personality in that your crew of criminals is also like movie stars and they're celebrities basically with endorsement deals.
Yeah, I guess the story is after Saints Row 2, you guys blew up, and now you're like a household name. I think is what the story is.
You run around the city and you see like advertisements with you and your crew on it, like drink this soda and wear these clothes and whatever. And, like people will stop you in the streets, like, hey, can I get your autograph? And so it's the satire of Grand Theft Auto even turned up a few notches from there. It's very cartoony, very fun, and yeah, I'm loving it. It's definitely scratching that itch that I had for Grand Theft Auto on the Switch.
I forget
that wasn't supposed to rhyme, but it did.
What is the reality show that you play where you like kill people? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I haven't gone that far yet.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to do spoilers, but yeah, that's its own kind of like missions that you do, and I forget what the show is called. But yeah, there's a show where like it's like a futuristic show, like kind of like Death Race, like that type of thing, where where you go
with that mascot.
Yeah, it's called like
I remember seeing videos.
It's called like Brutalize or something like that, or it has a weird name. But yeah, you basically go through and shoot people, and it's like a survival thing, and you have to get from one into another, and that's pretty funny too, because the announcers will talk about it and all that. But it's an actual televised show where you kill people. So I mean, I always like that stuff, like the sci-fi, the good hard sci-fi about the people being desensitized to violence in the future and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying all the rest of the game. I mean, there's so much to it. I was just poking around with the cheat codes today. There's a cheat code where, like, when people die, they float up to heaven, and another one, everybody walks around drunk, and like, there's a lot to the game for sure. And at this point, for $20, if it's still on sale, to anybody who's watching live, for the next 24 hours, I would recommend go buying it for $20 for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot to do in it. And lots
yeah,
of
even more
stuff.
honestly at this point. I think the regular price was $30. I think that would be worth it.
I think it was 40, but it was 40 full price. But I think that's fine for all the stuff you get with it.
I got another game, and this one actually came courtesy of Trey. He sent me Yakuza for the PS2.
Yeah, I gave you a
Christmas gift.
I gave you a NintenDomain game there. Because I remember you said you had a PlayStation 2, and we were talking about Yakuza and all that, and we were talking about getting Yakuza on the Wii U and all that, like Japanese, and I'm like, but wait, no, you could just buy it for PlayStation 2, because that's what it was originally on, and you want to play games in their original, on their original system, so there you go.
And I was interested in it because you said that it was like the next evolution of Shenmue, which I love Shenmue.
Yeah.
So I was excited to play this game. Unfortunately, I found out my PS2 doesn't work.
Oh, fuck. Oh, no.
So yeah, I got this PS2 like 6 or 7 months ago from a coworker who just had a box full of stuff. He does real estate, and he took over this property that had a bunch of stuff in it. And, hey, you want this box of games? Sure. And so I never actually had even tried the PS2 until yesterday. I was like, I'll give Yakuza a try, cool. And it doesn't actually load up.
Oh, no.
And I checked it against another game, too. And the other game gets a little bit further, but then it cuts out.
Oh, no.
So I got to figure out what's up with the PS2.
Well, that sucks.
I'll hang on to it, and I'll wonder how great Yakuza is until then.
Well, I mean, PS2s aren't that expensive. You could probably get one for less than 40, I would think.
Probably,
but that sucks. Yeah, I thought the yours was working, so I was afraid. Yeah, I was trying to remember. I was like, I know you got a PS2, so I was like, I'll just get it. But yeah, no, if I would have known it was broken, I would have got a different thing. But it is a great game,
But you did get me something else, though.
Yeah.
You also got me Super Mario Brothers the movie coloring book, vintage.
Well, it kind of like I ran into it at a local comic store by my mom's house.
Okay.
And I don't know. It's kind of become a running thing. Whenever I find a Super Mario Brothers movie thing, I'll get it for John, because you like the poster so much from Japan of it. So,
yeah, I thought I was actually wondering if it was something that you got from Japan that you waited till Christmas to send me, but this is very cool. I like it.
I found
Do you think I should open it and flip through it right now?
Yeah, I mean, I've looked at it, so it's legit.
Okay.
But you can look at it. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't actually opened it yet, because I thought I'd do a live unbagging or whatever this is.
Sure.
So we'll rip this tape open and take a look at the Super Mario Brothers the movie coloring book, vintage, with John Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins on the cover. I would guess this is the only coloring book featuring Bob Hoskins or John Leguizamo.
Hey man, there were probably a lot of.
Oh yeah, it's true. Yeah.
I was gonna say there were probably a lot of Roger Rabbit coloring books out there.
And Too Long Fu, Thanks for Everything. I think about a coloring book.
It should have. I don't know. You can get coloring books of anything right now. Like it's, I mean, Jess has American Gods coloring books, so it's and like Game of Thrones ones, so
Right on the opening there's that lovely Goomba, that non-Goomba, whatever that thing is, with the tiny head.
I wasn't when I bought it. I didn't look at it before I bought it, but I wasn't sure like whether it was going to be colored or not. But it's actually completely pristine. Like there's a crayon has never touched it. Everything is all is all like as it would be if you would have bought it today. So that's pretty.
This is like going through the story of the movie. Like there's Iggy and Spike. Remember those guys from the movie?
Yeah.
Koopa's henchmen. Mm-hmm. They're going into the tunnel, and there they land in the city and everything. Yeah, there's Dennis Hopper. Probably the only coloring book with Dennis Hopper. I think that's a safe bet.
The Blue Velvet one.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2, the coloring book.
Yeah. Oh, there's the lady that he dances with at the club.
Yeah.
Bertha?
Big Bertha.
Big
yeah.
Bertha.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Wow.
I think that the detail in that coloring book's actually far better than I expected.
I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's I think it's a quality coloring book.
We definitely traced some stills or something.
Yeah, we looked over it in our Christmas bonus episode. Just to add some extra time on there. But but yeah, it's a pretty book. It's good.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem,
man. Before you mentioned, I wanted to mention the gift Trey got me because I did forget that. I apologize. Trey. It got lost in the glut of other stuff that I bought. But Trey sent me a gift as well. He sent me Dragon Quest VIII.
Yeah,
with 3DS.
I went with non-Switch gifts this year.
And I played my 3DS more than I played it in probably over a year.
That's good.
Playing that fairly regularly.
Well, I was really happy that you liked Dragon Quest XI so much, so I wanted to buy you another Dragon Quest, because it
feels incredibly familiar.
Because the series is
the
very
systems and stuff.
Yeah, the series is really good, and I was like, well, fuck it, I should just, I thought about getting you 7 because I really like 7, and I was like, but no, I'll just get 8 because 8 is the most like 11. They're very similar, so I thought it would be an easy one for you to get into because you already know the way 11 works,
Yep. And so far, you're right about it.
Yeah.
The only thing that's weird is the nub. I'm not used to using the nub in other games, because I got the new 3DS after that I had bought Majora's Mask and stuff.
Yeah.
So I've never really tooled around too much with that nub, but it's a little weird to get used to it.
Yeah. At least for a game like Dragon Quest, it's okay, but if you're trying...
Right, you don't really need it too much unless you really are trying to run away from a random encounter.
Sure.
Which you can. I have had it happen a couple of times where the camera caused me to end up getting into one when I didn't want to.
Yeah.
But I think I'll get used to it eventually. It's just that nub works differently. It's not... It's not sliding, it's just responding to pressure.
I was going to say, and by differently you mean not well, or not as well.
Really.
It works fine for what it is, but yeah, compared to an analog stick, compared to the
it's
Switch,
a game system, not a ThinkPad. I don't know.
It's weird. I was saying it works okay for stuff where it's just camera movement, but if you ever try playing a first-person shooter with that thing, it just does not work. I tried playing that Moon game that I bought, and I really liked it with using the extra because I bought the second analog stick for the old 3DS.
Circle Pad Pro.
Yeah, the Circle Pad Pro, and that worked well. But with the nub, I couldn't do it. I just could not play it as well. It's really hard to do with a first-person shooter. So, which is a shame because the Circle Pad Pro doesn't work anymore, and I think I ended up selling it when I traded the original 3DS for the new 3DS. So that sucks. But aside from the nub, I think it's a pretty good-looking game. And
it looks great, and it really did give new life to my 3DS personally because. I was holding it, I took it with me on the bus a couple of times. It was just like, wow, it's so small compared to the Switch. It's so much more portable. Kind of that same experience you were having with the Game Boy Advance recently.
Sure.
I could just bring this with me. I don't need to bring the Switch. And so I've been doing that a lot because it just folds right up and fits in my pocket.
Yeah, it's so much more portable. I mean, it's like
my coat pocket, not like my jeans pocket, but you know what I mean.
And you have the small one too, right? You don't even have the XL, so it's even easier. It's basically like carrying around the Switch screen, but like less than that even. So, super duper.
It's
portable.
Great. So yeah, thanks Trey. I will probably play all the way through that eventually.
I hope so. Well, I wanted to continue on the pathway of Dragon Quest games because they're very good. You know, you should play all of them. I think they're all great. But I felt that like that was a good gateway drug to go from 11 to 8 because yeah, they're very similar.
Agreed.
Very nice. When I was out doing my Christmas shopping, I wandered into a Five Below and I found 2 more Animal Crossing amiibo.
Oh God!
Whoa.
So I got.
You got the Cap'n.
Yeah, I got Cap'n and I got Mr. Rossetti.
Nice.
Cap'n's the coolest.
Yeah, these were $5 each. Great deal.
That's 2 great. It's 2 great characters.
2 great. And you know, Mr. Rossetti, I was like being a little particular in the store because there were some issues with some of the other ones, like
nose.
particularly about his nose. Like his nose, if you look at the character, like it's sort of a gradient. There's like a dark tip of the nose, and then there's a gradient back to the brown, and those were like all over the map as far as the quality. And so I looked up a picture of Mr. Rossetti to see which one was the best one.
Oh, sure.
And this was the best one that I got here. Do you want to do an unboxing, or do you want to move it along? What do you think?
I mean, it's up to you. You can unbox them if you want.
Let's unbox them.
Okay.
All right. We'll do Mr. Rossetti first. All right.
The prophecy is complete. We've all unboxed amiibo.
That's right.
On the podcast.
Yeah, I didn't get any new amiibo over Christmas. I'm good for now.
All right, there's Rossetti. This is the one that I wanted the most. I think he's my favorite Animal Crossing character.
Nice gradient on that nose.
Yeah, it's beautiful gradient. Look at that.
I haven't looked, but is Animal Crossing available for pre-purchase yet on the eShop?
I don't think so.
New Horizons. I put it on my calendar. It's the same week of when we get to vote for when Illinois gets to vote for the primary. So,
oh, nice.
So you get the primary and then you get Animal Crossing. Thankfully, Animal Crossing is after the primary, so you can still go vote. You know, you won't be like entrenched in New Horizons and all that. But I marked it on my calendar, so I marked Animal Crossing, not voting. But you know, I'm gonna do both. But I'm excited about it. It's, you know, it's like less than 3 months away. About so yeah, I'm getting into the Animal Crossing hype train here. I'm getting hyped on it.
Me too. Yeah, actually, on that note, there was the little 30-second commercial that came out this week. Did you guys see that?
There was.
The Japanese
I watched
commercial,
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They actually put out an English version too.
Okay.
But, yeah, so the hype train is moving for Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I
We
didn't.
don't have to worry about it getting delayed anymore. I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't learn much from it, but I'm excited. I mean, I've been excited since. I mean, yeah, since it turned 2020. Like I sent Jeremy a Happy New Year text, and you sent me a GIF of the villager dancing. So, or no, villager with his gloves on from from Smash Brothers. So, so he's ready to rock, ready to beat up 2020.
The other things that I got Wii U games.
Oh, nice.
I got Pikmin 3.
Yeah.
And I got Smash for Wii U.
Nice.
Wow.
So, yeah, Pikmin 3, I picked that up.
Yeah.
Pikmin
3 is good.
Christmas shopping.
Have you played it?
Ago. Yeah, I love it. It's kind of like, yeah, I mean, it very much reminds me of Chibi Robo. I know that Chibi Robo came after the original Pikmin, but
Yeah.
it's kind of like, again, scratching that itch for a game that I wanted for a long time.
You played Pikmin 1 on my GameCube. Like, I remember...
I did, and I deleted your save file by accident.
Yeah, you did. It's fine, though. Yeah, no, Pikmin's a great game. And I was going to say, like, you got one up on Jeremy, because didn't you never, ever open your Pikmin, Jeremy? Your Pikmin 3?
It's still sealed.
You should open it, dude. It's a good game.
I played the demo.
Been saying it for 200 episodes here. That Pikmin 3 is a good game. It's a great game. Yeah, I beat that game. But no, those games are awesome. I still think I like Pikmin 2 better. I think Pikmin 2 is a little bit bigger, but I love both of them. I think they're both great. And if Pikmin 4 ever comes out on Switch, that would be really cool. It'd be really cool to see another Pikmin game. Those games are always fun.
That's when I'll open up my Pikmin 3.
If the Pikmin 4 ever happens.
My way up for Pikmin 4.
Yeah. I don't know. I almost wish they would just re-release Pikmin 2. Like, Pikmin 2 was so much fun because they had what they called was the dungeons in there, where you could basically go underground, and there was like this whole like dungeon area with your characters where the time wouldn't pass under there. And you could pick up all these other random things aside from stuff for your ship. You could also pick up like Nintendo controllers and stuff like that, and all this other weird shit in that one. And it had 2-player and a bunch of other stuff. And I think Pikmin 3 actually had some DLC at one point, and it even has like extra missions that take place in places that aren't like planets or whatever that you can just do as a co-op and all that stuff. So,
and I can still get those.
And you can do it all with your stylus also. I remember that. You could play the whole thing on the controller with just a stylus. That was a DLC that they added later. So there's a bunch of different ways to play it. You could play with the Wii remote, like with the classic controller, or like with the stylus on the Wii board, or on the screen.
Yeah, I really like it. It's a very charming, very Nintendo game, and I'm gonna play through the rest of it for sure. As for Smash for Wii U, I bought it basically just certain games you have to have if you own the system, and this is one of them. I played it just for an hour today, and I can't imagine that I'll really go back to it very much, just because Ultimate is so great, you know. But I've got it.
Yeah.
It's more like all those years that I wanted to get it. Okay, now I finally got it. That's it.
If you want to play something that's a little bit less than Ultimate, you could do that. Because it's missing a lot of the Ultimate guys because they ended up being DLC. So like you're not going to have like Bayonetta, you're not going to have Cloud, you're not going to have like Ryu, like a lot of the ones that they added at the end of Wii U. They're not going to be on there unless you bought them, So.
Right. And then both of these, part of the reason that I bought them is that the cases were in such great condition, and I know that anytime I could go on eBay or wherever online and order any game,
yeah,
but that's always like a crapshoot as far as you don't know if the box is going to be damaged or even if the disc is going to be scratched.
Sure.
But these were sitting on the shelf, both looking like almost like new. So, and actually Smash went down in price. It used to be $25, but it was down to 18. So I had to do it.
Where did you find it at, and how much was it?
Both were at GameStop.
Oh, okay. And how much were they?
Smash was 18, and then Pikmin was 15.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah, I figured they'd be around like $20 or less, so that's good. Nice pickup there for sure.
Yeah, and then the last things that I got, I actually don't have with me, but I got Christmas gifts for my niece and my nephew. I got my niece a little stuffed Bowser because he loves Bowser, and he always plays Bowser for Smash. And the other thing I got, these are really cool. These are Nintendo teethers for my niece who's a year and a half old. And so it's a little NES controller and a little Game Boy. They're like little silicone things that the baby can hold and kind of chew on.
Yeah, actually,
she loved them.
Tim, Jess's brother, he has the same one for his kid, for our nephew. So he has that same NES teether.
It's kind of like accessorizing your kid.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, I've seen that. I was like, John had that. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. Saw that one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I got. So it was a pretty good Christmas.
Cool. I think the only video game stuff I got for my family, I got I got Overcooked 2 for my nephews, my step nephew and niece. I got them that because they could all play it together, 4-player. And what else did I buy? I bought a capsule, like a Splatoon capsule for my nephew Wyeth. He got that, and also I got T-shirts from Super Potato for my nieces and nephews, and like a Japanese shirt. So cool. Another Japanese shirt with like Lucky Cats on it for my other niece. But yeah, stuff like that. But if that's
just actual Super Potato shirts.
Yeah, from Super Potato. It has a potato guy on it.
Cool.
It's a Super Potato. Yeah. Super Potato T-shirts, which I thought was pretty cool because that place is cool, and that was yeah, I was like, oh, I can just get this. And I got that for a couple of them. Plus, like, I got multiple capsules for one of my nieces as well. Just bought her a whole bunch of capsules to open, and we just didn't open them. So she got a bag full of capsules, which is fun. But yeah, if that's it for our intro here, we can take a break and get into our top 10.
Sounds good
to me.
All right, cool. Let me throw a song on here. Pause real quick. I think your mic might be the wrong thing, John. I think you're picking it up from the iPad and not your headset.
Think so? Let me plug it in. Because I'm hearing you through my earphones for sure.
Oh, okay. Because whenever you got closer to the iPad, I could hear you louder. Like when you're moving around.
Am I louder now? I'm louder now?
Yeah.
Yeah, weird.
So that's why I thought maybe that was that.
Okay, let's plug.
But I'm gonna run to the restroom and oh crap! I was gonna put on some music from the stuff.
How's that? Do I sound better now?
Did you switch it?
I unplugged it and plugged it back in.
Okay, yeah, no, that sounds better.
Okay. Do you want to adjust the volume?
Yeah, no, I'm working with it. Yeah. No, yeah.
Talking.
Yeah, that's
talking.
all right. Cool. Yeah, no, that's good. All right, I'm gonna run the restroom and throw on a song.
All right.
And then we will start again. Let's see. Let's do some Pikmin shit.
It's got to be charged by now.
Is everybody back? Oh, John's still gone. Everybody ready?
Ready.
All right. Okay, it is that time of the year. where the last year has left us, and we are in the year 2020. Got our 2020 vision right here.
Wow.
For our top 10 2019 games. Now, I'm gonna say a disclaimer here on my own here. I feel like I have to do this for anybody who's gonna be upset about my own choices. I'm just gonna say that 2019 was a hell of a year, and I could have easily done a top 25 if I wanted to, just because there were so many fucking games that came out last year. And there might be a couple in there that you think should be in there that aren't in there. And I'm just saying, it's not because I think they're bad games. It's just because they weren't necessarily my favorite games of the year.
That's kind of how I feel, too. I definitely could have at least done a top 20 based on what I bought. And when I went through and finally finalized my top 10 list, I just feel guilty about some of the stuff that's not in there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of like, I just wanted to say up front, like, I'm by no means like any of the games that came out that were maybe big ones that didn't make my list. It's not because I think they're bad games. There were just other games that I played more or that I just liked better. That's it. You know, they would probably be high in the top, or they'd be above 20 or whatever in my top 20 list. So that's kind of where I'm at. And I didn't necessarily beat all of the games that are on there, which it's hard to. I rarely ever do for these lists, but I tried to base it on the time that I had with the game, the time that I played the game, and the enjoyment that I got from that. So that's kind of what I tried to go with for it. So just to give kind of a rough idea of how my list is, and why blank isn't in there or something like that. I figured I'd put that at the beginning just as a warning for anybody who's going to get mad about my choices or whatever, But yeah, I figure we'll do the same point system as we did before, where 10 through 1 are flipped. So 10 gets 1, 9 gets 2, so on and so forth. And whatever game ends up getting the highest points in the end will be NintenDomain's official game of the year, which I have a good idea. If I was a betting man, I think I could probably bet on what's going to be the big game of the year. But I won't say any more about that. Well, last year it was The Messenger, was the one that
a game I never beat, but that I did enjoy a lot.
But it placed rather highly on all of our lists, so that's where that was. But I think there's one game in particular that might be really high on two of our lists that might end up getting it. Actually, there's probably a couple, but we'll see. That's some little preview there. But
I'm actually kind of excited about how much our list will be different this year.
Oh yeah, they're going to be totally different. Well,
I think so because there were so many. I mean, we all have our tastes.
Yeah, and they're also like, the first year, we cut out like Zelda and Mario because those were our favorites, and then last year I think I was the only one that cut out Smash Brothers, but it's fine. But our lists are definitely going to be way different because there's going to be stuff that. I know all of our lists are going to have games that aren't on the other people's lists for sure. So, because of how the different, and 2019 was such a huge, so many games came out, and so many games that I like came out. It was the RPG king of years for sure. I think it was the king of RPG years, which is awesome. Even to the point where I did want to give some honorable mentions before we get into the regular stuff. Some stuff that didn't make my list, but I wanted to mention anyway that were really cool.
Just be better to do that afterwards. So we just like.
So.
Do I do it after?
Okay. The suspense, yeah.
Okay. In case your honorable mentions.
Got it.
Others' favorites.
Let's do that. Okay. Well, then I won't mention my honorable mentions yet, because there are some ones that I know you wouldn't mention. That I don't think you guys are mentioning that I wanted to just.
Hey, don't think you know what I mention, all right? I mention what I want to mention.
You mention whatever you want to mention. All right. How do we want to start? Like, who's gonna do 10 first? I can do. I mean, I can start.
You want me to start? We do it in our normal order. Trey, Jeremy, John.
Okay. All right. Number 10. All right. So my number 10 game, just because I always have to have a fucking obscure game on my number 10. My number 10 is Friends of Ringo Ishikawa.
Ooh, all right.
Which was that amazing game which I played through twice, which I don't ever do that on any game. It was that awesome indie game made by a kid, and his dad did all the artwork for it. We have talked about it a bunch of times on the show. It's basically about a kid living in Japan who has a gang with him. You can kind of run around and beat people up like Double Dragon style, but also River City Ransom style, and you can go to school. You can get good grades. You can work at a movie store. You can go train. You can learn different moves. You can go to the bar. You can go play video poker. If you make enough money, you can buy yourself a Famicom system. There's just like so much you can do in this game. That's what I liked about it. And you don't really even have to go to school if you don't want to. Like there's no real requirement to do anything. The one big negative I had on it was that no matter what you do, you get the same ending, which I kind of wish there were multiple endings. But the game was so much fun to play that I went through it again, so I could get enough money to buy all the extra stuff that I couldn't get the first time because I didn't understand how to like make do better in grades and get a scholarship and get money through that and all that. And there's a smoking button, which is awesome. Every game should have a smoking button. But no, it's so much fun. You can just run to the end of the pier and just like sit on the pier and smoke cigarettes and watch the sunset. Like you can do all this shit, or you can just like hang out in your room. You can sleep all day. Like you can pet cats. There's a cat that like hangs around your apartment that you can pet. You can start fights with other gangs, which actually kind of leads to like side stories and stuff like that. Like gangs you're not supposed to be fighting with, who are like on good terms with you, stuff like that. It was just a blast to play, and it's still like on my top. I think it's like maybe on my third or fourth like level of most played games. Like when you check it out on your Switch, so.
Wow.
It had a big effect on me, and I even got to talk to the guy who made the game, who only speaks Russian. I was able to talk to him on Twitter, so that was kind of cool. I actually told him that I liked the game, and he told me, like that there wasn't multiple endings, and I tried to get him on the show, but he didn't speak English, so he couldn't come on the show. But yeah, that was one that just kind of stuck with me, and I have very fond memories of it, and I think it's a very cool game. It's definitely a very, very different game also, and it was different than anything else I'd really played, so it kind of really resonated with me, and I still think about it. So
yeah, I got to try it a bit too when you were over here, and it was different than I thought it was going to be. It's not necessarily all action, like River City Ransom or Double Dragon. There's more like somber and melancholy moments to it, like just hanging out on the roof.
Oh yeah, no, a lot of it is, and the soundtrack is super like melancholy, which I really like too. And yeah, sometimes you can just chill with your boys, or you can go have ramen down the street at the whatever at that store. There's a couple restaurants you can go to. You can talk to the waitresses there and stuff like that, or you can just hang out and talk with your schoolmates about Gundam and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. I had a lot of fun with it, and it's very, very, very unique game, and I felt like it deserved a spot on my top 10 games of the year.
All right, well, kind of in a similar sort of thing, wanting to put something a little weird on here that I really, really liked. Gato Roboto.
Oh, nice.
That falls in at my number 10. It pushed a lot of stuff out of the way. There's so much stuff I wanted to put on number 10, like we were saying, so it's like I could easily narrow down a lot of the top stuff, but 10, that was hard. Gato Roboto ended up winning. Developed by Doinksoft. Let's look that up.
Doink.
This came out on May 30th, and it's a super clean-looking black and white, kind of an homage to Game Boy.
It looks like an Ardu Boy game, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's one of the reasons I think I like it so much, because it allows you to unlock skins for the actual game, like Super Game Boy type skins that change the color palette. But it remains monochromatic no matter what. But it's a super cute game. You're a little kitty cat, and you have to save your owner, who gets trapped in the wreckage of a ship when you wreck, and you take over this bio suit, and all of a sudden you're running around like Samus. And I mean, this wears its blaster on its sleeve, so to speak. This is definitely a Metroid-inspired game, but it's a lot of fun, and it was cheap when it came out. I think the price was right. I think it was a $10 game.
I think it was less than that. I thought it was like 8. I thought it was like 7 or 8.
Yeah. So it's cheap, and I mean it's really clean. Pardon me. And I think that it was really well polished, and it was a satisfying playthrough. Like all the bosses were fun, and you can beat it in a day or two, but for the price. This came out, like I said, it came out more towards the middle of the year, but it stuck with me. So, Gato Roboto, number 10.
Nice.
Came out, like I said, it came out more towards the middle.
My number 10 was Yoshi's Crafted World, the demo.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, I didn't actually play the whole game, but I think demos count. We did that last year, right?
Yeah, no, demos count. I
Yeah.
think I included DLC also.
Yeah, and this one just snuck in there at the last minute because while I was home for Christmas, I was with my 4-year-old nephew. We were just hanging out for the afternoon, and I showed him the menu of the Switch with all the different games that I had, and he said, "Oh, that one, that one, that one." He pointed to Yoshi, and so we tried it out, and we had him hooked for like an hour, which I don't know if you've ever spent time with a 4-year-old. Having them have their attention on something for an hour is pretty remarkable, right?
That is
sure.
remarkable.
Yeah, having him hooked on anything is hard to do, and something that you want to get done.
Oh yeah, and I just thought it was a great game that an adult and a little kid could play together because we were just pointing. You point at the screen, you look at things. There's things that happen in the background. It's a very slow-paced, easy-going kind of game. You can just like say, "Hey, look at that guy over there," or I'd be walking along and he'd say, "Oh, get that guy, get that guy, get that guy." It's a nice combination of a game you can watch and play together.
Oh, sure. Well, I mean, imagine if you had more than just 2 levels. Or no, it's only 1 level.
It is just 1 level,
Yeah.
but
One level, but then you can do the reverse
front
side.
and back side. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that game is really good. I mean, people gave it such stupid. I feel like people gave it a hard time because it was easy, quote unquote. It's totally not an easy game. Like I've played it.
I played lazy. Trey, you had me play a few of the later stages, or maybe not even later, just further into the game, and I was challenged.
Oh no, I mean I died multiple times in there. It's not an easy game. I even mentioned that it was harder than Twilight Princess was because you lose half a heart on that versus 6 hearts on Yoshi in some places. But
Yeah. And then, of course, there's also the look too. The look is just remarkable. Everybody who walked by, it was the holidays. We had people over, and people were walking by said, "Oh, look at that! What is that game? That's cool. It's like the milk cartons with little details on them.
yeah, it's very charming.
UPC codes. It's very eye-catching."
Yeah, no, Jess played the shit out of that one. That one was pretty much that's pretty much for her. But yeah, no, I enjoyed what I saw when I played with what I played of it with her. I really enjoyed. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I played it by myself before, and I thought, okay, this is pretty fun. But really, it was just that experience of playing with my nephew, and we had a great time together. So it really inched in there at number 10 for me.
Nice. Excuse me. Sorry. I said my throat's kind of fucked up. All right. Yeah, those are our number 10s. So, number 9. All right, what do I have? Number 9, Ring Fit Adventure. Made it onto the top 10 for this year. Just because it's such a quirky exercise game that's fun to play, and yeah, it's weird, and it's a game that I want to keep playing. It gives you a good workout, and it's definitely much better than Wii Fit. I feel like I've talked so much about Ring Fit on here before, but it's a great game. It's a lot of fun to play, and it feels like you're doing a workout, but it's fun to do it. Which anything that makes a workout fun is definitely worthy of being on a top 10 to me. So yeah, I felt like I had to get it on there because it's such a unique game and so much fun to play.
I still hope to get this game.
Yeah.
Sooner than later.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, I mean, if I see you, whenever I see you next, you can play mine if you don't have it yet. But yeah, it's fun. It's a cool game, and I've been hoping to get back on it. I've been traveling like crazy I've been doing family stuff for like over a week and a half, so I need to just kind of chill out and hopefully play some of it this weekend. But yeah, no, it's a cool game, and number 9. I felt like it was a good spot for that one for me. I like that also that I have 2 rings in a row. I got Ringo and Ring Fit right back to back.
You do?
I didn't plan that. That just kind of happened.
Careful that you might get ringworm.
Oh God.
Well, sort of an appropriate segue. For my number 9, I included a game that I've talked about a lot recently, so I won't go into too much detail. But The Return of the Obra Dinn.
Yeah.
This game I picked up very late in the year, but it's just been so captivating, and there's just nothing quite like it on the Switch. And I believe I've said those exact words multiple times, but that's how I feel. It's kind of funny now that I'm looking at my list. It's very similar to Gato Roboto in its monochromatic presentation and the fact that you can change the palette. So maybe there's something about that aesthetic that really appeals to me, but it's a completely different game otherwise. So you're solving a mystery a ship comes ashore that's been missing for a while. They don't know what happened to it when it arrives. Everybody on board is either dead or missing, and your job is to use your mystical pocket watch to figure out who killed who or how each person died and when. And I guess you don't need to know when, but just how and by whom. And it's a lot of fun, and it's very rewarding to solve the puzzles because they are not easy. Like it's just I still haven't finished it, but I still enjoy going back to it every few days and spending some time with it. So, Oberdin, number 9.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's one I want to get to. My number 9 was Toe Jam and Earl, Back in the Groove. I love this game. I think it's got so much charm to it, and it's, looks like a 1990s indie comic book. It's really funny. The writing is good. Like the little characters will walk by and say things at you. And it is one of the most chillaxed, I'll say, games that I've played in a while. Sort of in the same vein of remember playing Strong Bad on the Wii? Like you just lay back on the couch and point the remote at the TV.
I love Strong Bad. That game's great.
It's the same different kind of gameplay, but the same kind of vibe to it. Like you can just hang out, no pressure, walk around, see the funny cartoons, see all the funny interactions that you can have with them, and it's a very relaxing, mellow kind of game, and I like it for that.
Nice.
I returned to it a couple of days ago and played it for an hour just to get reacquainted with it, and now I'm thinking I got to get back into that game.
You gotta get back into the groove, right? Has a pretty good soundtrack too. I ended up getting the soundtrack.
Oh yeah, soundtrack's great. Yeah.
It's very funky.
And it does have online multiplayer, which I've tried a little bit here and there, but I think it would be fun if we all got that game someday. Maybe when it's on sale, pick it up. It'd be really fun to go on and play that game.
Yeah, I didn't know about that, about the online multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. All right, number 8. Number 8 is another R title for me. 3 R's in a row here. Red Faction Guerrilla Remastered coming in at number 8. And I mean, it's I know it's a port, whatever. I don't really care. We've been putting ports on our list for years, and ports have been my number one. I've actually were my number ones for the past couple of years, so it doesn't matter. Red Faction Guerrilla Remastered is so much fun to play. It's actually probably one of the best open world games that I've played, just in the fact that I can destroy everything, and that's so much fun. I mean, you can start a level that you're supposed to be breaking into a base by you basically taking a tank and running it through the front door of the base or the wall or whatever, because everything's completely destructible. It's just so much fun to run around and destroy things. Yeah. Geomodding, and the game and the story is good too. It's about it's all about oppression on a different planet in Mars, and the Earth Defense Force, or EDF, and how they're trying to screw us over. I like the game so much that I actually played through the DLC too while I was over Christmas break. I played through because much like the Saints Row that we were talking about, it's the Ultimate Edition, so you get all this other shit with it. So there was an extra couple hour campaign on there for DLC, which I played through with a different character after I beat the game. So it's so much fun to play that I just kept playing it. So, and even though I've beaten pretty much everything on the system, on the game, I don't want to take it off my system just because I like it so much and it's so much fun to play. I still want to go back and just maybe do some of the side missions and stuff like that on there. It's I kind of wondered if it would be on my top 10 or not, but it's I ended up putting probably 40 hours into it, and it's on one of my, it's up top on one of my top played games on the system. So yeah, fuck yeah, that game's awesome. It was it was 30 when it came out, and I think it's totally worth it for sure. Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, number 8, also for me, a top game on my system as far as gameplay put in, and over a very short period of time too. So the game I'm speaking about is Forager.
There it is. I knew that.
I spoke about Forager quite a bit when I was playing it. In fact, John mentioned it on the show a few months before it came to the Switch as something that he thought I might be interested in, and he was right.
Yeah.
I played the hell out of this game. Yeah, thank you. I played the hell out of this game. It's a very simplistic clicking crafting game, but it's very chill, and it's got a really nice exponential curve to it, in the sense that before you're starting off doing hardly able to attain any resources, and it takes forever, and by the end everything's just blowing up around you and automatically collecting as you walk. So it's got a really fun mechanic in that regard, that you can just make yourself as powerful as you want, really. There's a ton of DLC that's been released for it since it came out on PC, but we have yet to see any of that on the Switch. So I'm really hoping for that in 2020. It was made by one guy, Hopfrog. He goes by Hopfrog. He used the Game Maker Studio to produce it. I guess that's a piece of software that you can get, and it was published by the Humble Bundle. So this is a pretty, this is a super indie title, but it definitely forged its way into my top 10 this year. Forager, number 8.
It forged its way in.
Yeah, because that's how that works.
Nice.
For me, number 8, Killer Queen Black.
Killer Queen.
That's a fantastic game.
Actually, not funny thing about Killer Queen Black. I tried to play it. I tried to play it at Jess's brother's house, and I couldn't play it because we didn't have a strong enough internet signal. So we couldn't even play against bots on offline mode. So that was
wow.
Yeah.
It wouldn't let you play offline?
Yeah.
Because you didn't have a good internet signal?
Yeah. Wow. It was a bummer on that one. But no, that game's awesome.
Yeah, I just love the whole spinning plates nature of the gameplay. You have to look out for being attacked, having your queen attacked. You have to run around and collect the berries. Then you have to watch the slug at the bottom of the screen, make sure the slug gets to the goal.
Yeah, that's the
between all those three things, it's just it makes it very dynamic, very fun, and fast paced. There's a lot going on at once.
The sneaky attack is a little snug. The slug, sneaky attack.
Yeah, the slug is my favorite way to win.
Yeah,
I like
to find his way in there.
It feels good to win via slug, for sure.
It does. It's like a tug of war kind of thing.
Yeah.
Going back and forth on the screen. And I actually had some experience earlier in the year with this game. I went to a place in LA called 2-Bit Circus, where they have an actual arcade unit. And at the time I was playing it, I was not really figuring out exactly how to play the game. It's a little bit harder to jump into on the arcade machine in that setting.
Sure.
It does have a little bit of a learning curve. But when you actually sit down and do the tutorial, which is about 15 minutes or so, it lays everything out pretty well, and you get it right away. And then you can jump in, and it is one of those games where if it's pretty quick to learn, relatively, and hard to master.
Oh, yeah.
Because some people will just, hand your ass to you on a plate on that game. The other thing that I didn't like was the voice chat. Just people on there were kind of annoying to me. It was kind of funny when
welcome to voice chat. That's just life. Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. But, I found a way to turn that off, and that was great.
See, I like the voice chat, but only because you could capture it with the video capture with the Switch. And I liked that because people were telling me how good I was, and I just happened to catch that on an audio sample.
Yeah.
Even though I wasn't really. I think they were being sarcastic, but still. I took it literally.
Yeah, I figured you liked it because because they talked about you on there. And capturing it with the 30-second thing is awesome. I think that's the only game that you can do that on.
As far as I know, yeah, because even when Fortnite let you capture stuff, I don't think it captured the voice chat as well.
Yeah, and you can't do captures on Friday the 13th, so you can't do that on that. So yeah, no, that's a cool one. I'm hoping those guys are local, and Kevin knows those guys, so I was hoping to get them on the show at some point.
Oh, cool.
So
what's the name of the company? Do you know?
I don't know. He told me a couple times, but I can't think of it offhand right now.
Look it up.
But yeah, no, I think they were at that Switch meetup that I missed, the one in October when we were in Japan.
Oh, they were actually there.
Yeah, so it's a shame I could have met them there.
Liquid Bit and Bumble Bear.
Yeah, Liquid Bit. Those guys. That's what he was talking about. Cool. All right. Well, moving along to number 7. My number 7 game is Dragon Quest Builders 2.
Okay.
It's coming back again. Dragon Quest Builders 1 was on my list last year, and Dragon Quest Builders 2 is coming back again. I mean,
even better, right?
Oh yeah, no, it's totally better this year. Yeah, no, I played the crap out of it when it came out. It's basically, it's improved on everything it needed improving from Dragon Quest Builders 1. Now there's parts where the villagers can actually build for you now. There's bigger areas. You can do first person mode. It's it's super fun. It looks great. It was a same day release as other systems too, which is really awesome. But yeah, no, Dragon Quest Builders 2, basically Minecraft meets Dragon Quest. So I'm actually really surprised that you haven't jumped on this one yet, Jeremy. I think you'd really enjoy it. But yeah,
I think it would have if this weren't the dang year of RPGs on the Switch.
Yeah. I mean, that's why it's so low on my list. Like, I really like it, but it's But I'm hoping to finish it at some point. But I still put like a good 40 hours into it from what I played, and I played through the first 2 areas. So I don't know. It's very big. It's a lot of fun, and yeah, it's basically Minecraft with a point. Like, that's what I always said, because I couldn't get into Minecraft because Minecraft didn't really have a direction for me. I need goals, and I mean, I guess you set your own goals, but I like to have a nice little story in there, and there's a really good story in this one. Follows the events of Dragon Quest 2, much like the first one followed the events of Dragon Quest 1. So if you like Minecraft and Dragon Quest, it's a great game to play together. And it's cool to walk around with the giant monsters in the world and just be able to build cities and stuff like that, and just try to bring everything back from the brink of almost extinction in that world. So yeah, it's a great one. I really dig it.
And you can collect poop.
Yes, you can collect poop. Yes. I forgot about that. Yeah, how you could just, and it's like,
what is it called, Royal Soil?
Yeah, I think it's called Royal or something like that. Yeah.
You can get that in other Dragon Quest games, I think.
Yeah, it's funny because if you if you only build one bathroom and you have multiple people in one town, you can just watch them all line up and they all just hold themselves, and just you watch them wait to go to the bathroom. It's pretty awesome. I forgot about that. Yeah, it's super fun. And yeah, you can use that to make other things, of course, like bombs and poisonous swords with poop, stuff like that. It's a great game.
Wow. All right. Well, my number 7 is something that I actually kind of forgot about. I'm not going to lie, but looking at the time I spent on it and the amount I talked about it after it came out, I got to throw Wargroove on here.
Wargroove, yeah.
From our buddies over at Chucklefish, who made another one of my favorite games, Stardew Valley, or rather, they published it. Yeah, this is a fantastic Advanced Wars, what would you call it, a tribute that improves upon a lot of the systems quite a bit, and just kind of utilizes everything the Switch can do really well with the online features, and I think one of the reasons why I definitely need to give this a nod, even if I haven't played it for many months because I just got distracted by so many other things, it's just the first strategy game that really ever grabbed my attention, and I was able to stick with it for quite a while. So that's certainly an accomplishment. I was so hesitant to buy it, and I'm glad I did. It's a great game. I highly recommend it. There's been some DLC for it.
Free DLC.
Yeah, free DLC, patches and stuff, and the asynchronous multiplayer is awesome. Trey and I played it a little bit, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. You got to stay up on it. I did it with Justin for a while too, with Justin Vega, who we had on the show. But it got to the point where, if you don't respond quick enough, it'll drop you out. But it's cool to do. We would text each other and be like, "Hey, it's your turn," and we tried to keep it going for a while. So yeah, that's a really cool game. Yeah,
but I don't know. There was a lot of. It seems like so long ago because it was right at the beginning of the year, but there's just a ton of memes about the dog in it. He's the cute doggo, and you can't actually hurt him. Whenever you're about to hurt him, someone comes out in front of him and gets hit instead, one of his men or something that he has following him.
Yeah, and he runs away. He doesn't actually get killed.
And he runs away instead of getting killed. Yeah, so a lot of attention was put into making sure the mascot doggo was treated well in the game as well as he could be. So, Wargroove, it's a great game. It's actually kind of got a story to it, which is really cool as well for the way the gameplay works, I guess. I don't think Advance Wars really had much of a story to it.
It kind of does. And I think I mentioned before on the show that I thought I was going to be able to play Advance Wars in Japanese. I was totally wrong on that game because I did try to play it. It's just you don't know what, you can't tell what you're buying or whatever. But one other thing that was really awesome about Wargroove is you could make entire campaigns on there too. It had like a creative mode where you could create your own maps, but you'd also make campaigns, so you could make your own story also. It had a story, but you could make your own story as well. Like, it's just amazing all the stuff that they put on there. Like, it was almost never ending with all the fun that could be had in the Wargroove.
I wish I had spent more time with it, but I still can. It's not too late.
Yeah.
Wargroove is still on my system memory and has not been deleted, so Wargroove is my number 7.
Yeah. It's incredibly challenging, too. Speaking of that, probably why you haven't played it lately.
Nice. We have 2 games in the top 10 with Groove in the title. Groovy.
Groovy.
My number 7 is Tetris 99.
Boom. Boom.
This was a game I think we all loved it. I think it's on all of our top 10 lists somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, spoilers.
I didn't really get into it until actually recently. It was after Trey came and visited for a bit that he kind of showed me how it's better. Because initially, the Pro Controller did the drops and all that stuff.
Yeah. Sensitivity.
I fought through it a little bit initially, and I liked the game at the time, but it was just like the dropping was horrendous. And so when Trey came over and showed me, no, they fixed it. Yeah, for the most part, they fixed it. There's still a few drops here and there, but it's playable now. It's more than playable. It's good. It's good.
It's very good.
As far as the controls. And as far as the gameplay, it's classic Tetris. It's great. Playing against 99 other people.
98.
A lot of fun. Tetris Battle Royale, who would have thought? And then, of course, they dropped it as a surprise, which made it all the better for anyone who had the Nintendo Online service.
Mm-hmm. And they've also, another thing that's so great about it is, like, they've continued to support it. Like, it's had, Tetris Maximus every month since it came out. And themed ones as well, where you play for, like, a weekend. It's mostly, it's like 4 days, like Thursday through Monday. And you can. There was like a Luigi's Mansion 3 like theme. There was a Pokemon Sword and Shield theme. There was a Fire Emblem theme. There was a Splatoon 2 theme. There was a Game Boy theme, which I think you can actually get them now. I think they're $30, but you can actually get the older ones that you missed, is what I heard.
You can buy
them. Yeah, you use the in-game tickets
via NBC. Yeah, and then they added the in-games, the daily challenges, which makes you want to play the game every day now. And then of course there's like the $10 DLC, which I totally recommend because then you can play regular Tetris on there. You can play offline Tetris in marathon mode and like computer, against a computer and like multiplayer and all that stuff as well. Yeah, no, it's a super awesome game. And yeah, it was free, free right off the bat, and in February. So we've had it like Jeremy was saying before, like it almost feels like it was last year, but no, it was this year, like the beginning of the year. So that was a big, awesome, and it was right when everybody was kind of like, oh, I don't know, I don't think Nintendo Switch Online is all that good, but then they're like, boom, Tetris 99 right in your face, So
possibly, probably the best Tetris game ever made.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. It's really good. I like it a
lot. As far as
lot. And I love
Tetris, I would have to say yes.
Yeah, and I love Tetris. Well, we're not talking about Tetris Attack here, and that's and that's not even Panel de Pon, so it's different. Cool. All right, moving on to number 6.
Number 6.
Okay, so number 6 for me is The Witcher 3. I have to have it in my top 10 list because it was the game that they thought could never be done on the Nintendo Switch. And here it is. The Switcher 3, or Witcher 3, if you will, is made available. A game that's considered by many to be the game of the generation.
Considered by many to be impossible to port to the Switch, and then all of a sudden, there it was announced.
And now it's here. And I was... The reason that it's lower on my list is just because I haven't been able to spend that much time with it, but I've still played about like 20 hours of it. And I'm kind of like what you were saying earlier, Jeremy. I'm just kind of think I'm sort of getting the hang of it. I don't know. I was playing a bunch of different missions earlier. Like I played it last night, just like to kind of play it again for the list. I was trying to like run through all of the stuff on my list and make sure I still felt the same way about it. But I was playing it last night, and I was just playing some of the secondary missions and just having a lot of fun with those because they all kind of feel on the same level. I never really felt like I was doing a fetch quest or anything like that. I felt everything had a story behind it, and it was actually important. So, and fun to play. So I've been enjoying it a lot.
I also enjoy The Witcher 3. One thing that I found out, which may not affect you, Trey, because you downloaded it. I bought the physical cartridge with the credo that I wanted this giant game to be on a cartridge, so I didn't have to take up a bunch of memory. Well, recently someone posted on Reddit there's actually an update file.
Yeah.
That makes it look better.
Yeah, I downloaded it last night, and I didn't really notice that much of a difference.
I did. It really cleaned up the visuals. Like, they looked a lot less murky, and I felt like the frame rate was a little better too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I thought
the big difference is that
fine.
I can't load any previous saves once I can, but it like loads up the old version. I don't know. I can't completely explain it, but yeah, all your saves, like, you can continue your previous saves, but once you save a new game, you can't open that.
Oh, weird.
You can't open the old ones in the new game. Like, you can't go back to them, as far as I can tell.
Oh, I didn't know anything about that, but I haven't really been going back to previous. Well, I did, like, I played around with it because one of my nieces, like, her boyfriend's, like, big into The Witcher, and I wanted to show him some of the Switch game because he hadn't seen the Switch one yet. And my brother-in-law was like, "Oh, blah blah blah, Netflix series. Is that a game?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So I just kind of like just fucked around, but I didn't know where I was going, so I didn't save any of that. So I did, like, when I came back to it, I went back to my previous save, not the auto save. But yeah, in order to get that extra graphical thing, you have to, like, it doesn't do it automatically. Like, I had to actually, like, go into the options and, like, hit start and, like, make it download it on its own thing, and it wouldn't actually do it when I started the game, which I thought was really weird. I thought it would have just already did it, but yeah, I had to kind of find it on my own.
But I liked the game enough. I guess that was sort of what I was saying. I liked the game enough that I downloaded the update. And
sure, yeah, it's worth it. Yeah, The Witcher 3. I mean, it's great. I recommend it for anybody who hasn't played it on another system, I guess. It doesn't really, the graphics, I think the graphics look great. It doesn't bother me, and I like that it's portable. It looks very good as a portable Witcher. And it's, Mr. Gruffenstein is awesome. Geralt. Mr. Gruffy Angry Man.
Oh, boy. All right, well, for my number 6, I feel like I was somewhat arrogant in my prediction of what was going to happen this year early on. Because even when I just saw early stuff about this game or when it was announced, I was like, that's could be my number 1 game of 21-19.
Oh, I know this one.
Not. It's number 6. Mario Maker 2 is number 6.
Super Mario Maker.
Completely fantastic game that just got lost in a wash of so much other stuff. And I think not having the 2 screens is probably a big reason why I didn't play it more. I gotta be honest. The 2 screens was such a lovely part of the last game, and in addition, being able to have your Wiimotes on the side where you could just, like, grab those to play the levels, and then have the screen sitting on your lap while you're working on the game. And I just liked that. I liked the Wii U version so much better.
Yeah, me too. Like, it didn't really. This one didn't have as much of an impact on me as the Mario Maker 1 did, and I felt like Mario Maker 1 was treated so much better too. It got so much more updates and, like, so much quicker. Like, they put a lot more attention into that one than this one.
The Zelda DLC is awesome.
Oh yeah, it's very cool.
A lot of the levels I've played with that have been really cool, and really there's some really creative stuff that's come up, since the update initially went up, and I think that's almost makes it like a new game in some regards. So
sure.
I do think that the update that they gave us is more significant than any of the updates they gave us on the first game. I mean, short of, like, checkpoints and stuff like that didn't get added right away, or keys, but
yeah.
Mario Maker 2 is a great game, and I think I was listening to a podcast where Chris Kohler from Kotaku mentioned, like, what if there was, like, a Switch Chromecast, that you could just plug into your USB port or into your HDMI port and play it that way. And if they could do something like that and give us those 2 screens back, this game would enter my rotation a lot more.
Yeah. Also, when you're talking about like this versus the Wii U version, I really miss how the Wii U version let like all of the controllers were active, so you could make it like multiplayer even though it really wasn't. So like if you were on the gamepad and you had one of the Pro controllers on, they're both single players, so you can just be like, you can be playing your, editing the level and just hit a button to start it and be like, hey, try this level, and you're still on the same controller, and we would do the same thing to play like, levels on the regular, like Mario versus Bowser whatever mode where you get the random levels. Where I'd be like, okay, we're going to play 3 players. We're all going to have 3 different controllers, but we're all single player. So, you'll just play whenever it's your turn. And that was really cool. And they didn't really do that with this one, which is kind of weird.
But I do want to be clear, I'm saying a lot of, I guess, kind of negative stuff about the game. I put it number 6. It's a great game. I played a lot of it. It's towards my top. It's in my top 10 most played games on Switch. It might be even higher up. I think I've actually played it more than some other games that I put a lot of time into, so it has to be on the list. And I think eventually I'll go back to it and try to make that Yoshi level I keep promising everyone I'm going to make. It's just that there's no Yoshi sprite.
Yeah, it kind of defeats the Pink Yoshi because you can't be Pink Yoshi.
And I miss those sprites a lot, and I think I'm kind of bitter about that too because of the fun little imaginative things people did with those alternate stories. So.
That's kind of puzzling.
Other than Link at this point, you don't really have an alternate character. I mean, I guess you could do... Well, no, because you can't really do like Peach or Toad or anything like that, can you?
Yeah, you can. You can actually... Okay. I mean, when you're playing the regular mode, you can actually go into the profile and change it to however you want it. You can be Toad, Toadette, or Luigi. And
all right. Well, maybe there is a little more to it then. In that regard.
So when you play, anything other than the story mode, you'll automatically use that character. So like I always
use Luigi.
I changed mine to Luigi, and I changed Justice to Peach or to Toadette just for the fun of it, just to see that character on there.
But yeah, number 6, not number 1.
Yeah.
Mario Maker 2.
It's amazing how, and I mean that one came out like halfway through the year, so it's amazing how much things can change like in a few months, especially with all of the releases that happened post Super Mario Maker 2. You're up, John.
Oh, yes. My number 6 was Cuphead. I've been looking forward to playing this game for a while. I didn't want to ever get an Xbox, so I never thought I was going to get the chance. And then all of a sudden,
there it is.
The rumor mill started to brew that, hey, maybe Cuphead's coming, and it was true. A Microsoft top-tier game brought over to Switch, and it was Cuphead.
Yep.
And
for some considered it a system seller for the Xbox One at a certain point.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah. I mean that game was all over. I saw it. They played it on Conan. He reviewed that game, and it got mainstream coverage, largely, of course, thanks to the amazing animation. And the animation looks to me just as good as it does on the Xbox.
I don't remember. I don't remember what article I read or whatever, but somebody did a side-by-side comparison, and it looked exactly the same. Like as far as ports go, if you want to call them demakes or whatever, the way they get stuff to work on the Switch, this one was not that at all. It was a direct port.
Yeah.
If it was a demake, they were super great at hiding it.
Yeah. Every time I put this game on, everybody stops and looks at it. It was. I'm brought back home for the family. Everybody was talking about the game. Oh, you put that game on so you can show this person who just walked in the door. Yeah, check this game out. And I was a person who loves cartoons, and I love the old style cartoons. I can remember they used to play them on like Nickelodeon. They had like the old 1930s cartoons for a half-hour block. I was glad to have somebody in the video game space pay homage to those old cartoons. They did such a fantastic job, and it's surprising, yet not surprising at the same time, how well that old style of like crazy animation, all kinds of things going on at once, matches with the run and gun genre the boss fight genre of Cuphead. It doesn't immediately make sense, but once you put it together, it's like, yeah, of course, this is the exact type of way to make an old 1930s style game. Just all kinds of crazy things happening on the screen all at once. And it was really fun. I still haven't beat it yet. It's challenging as hell. But I never got so frustrated that I was like, fuck this game. It was fun all the way. And I'm going to beat it someday. But, yeah, me and my brother-in-law had a good go at it. And he actually ended up beating the game. But we had a really fun time playing two-player. I think it's a great two-player game, co-op. Yeah, I recommend that game to anybody.
It's a really good tabletop mode game.
Yeah. Well, with the small screen, even with how hard it is, you can still play that.
My friend Joe and I played it at the bar one night, and it's like you said, John, everybody that walked by stopped to watch for a little while.
You have to stop and watch because you can't believe it's a video game.
Yeah. Ready to move on to number 5.
We're in the top 5 now.
Yeah, top 5.
Things are getting heated.
Yeah, heated. Hopefully, well.
And these lists are wildly divergent.
They are. So, number 5, here's a game that we've talked about already, so I don't have to talk about it that much. But my number 5, Tetris 99.
Right.
John mentioned it before. I love Tetris 99. I knew it was going to be in my top 5. I actually even thought about throwing it into number 2, just because Tetris 99 is my number 1 most played game of the year. I've put about 50 plus hours into it, I think. But I played all of the events. I got all of the different themes for it. I've been doing the daily challenges. I've unlocked all of the other themes. I think I have maybe 3 left that I haven't gotten, but I got the Donkey Kong, the Mario, the Zelda one. Yeah, I love that game. I love Tetris since I got Tetris on Game Boy, and I kind of fell out of it for a while, and I never really thought that Tetris could, become cooler than it was in the original game, but no, they totally did it for me. They made me like an online multiplayer game, which I just don't like really at all, But they made it good for me. I like playing it, and it's so much fun. And it's basically, got me to like a battle royale game. I'd given up on Fortnite quite a long time ago, but Tetris 99, it's keeps pulling me back in. And every time I play it, I end up playing it for a couple hours a day, to try to get those extra things. And I even got the paid DLC, so I can play marathon mode, and so I can do multiplayer. And yeah, I fucking love Tetris 99. And the reason that I thought about putting on number 2 maybe is because I basically I recommend it to anybody who's getting a Switch or thinking about getting a Switch. I always tell everybody Tetris 99. I'm like, make sure and get your online service so you can get Tetris 99 for free. It's an awesome game. It's a lot of fun to play. They do these Tetris Maximuses every month. They've been supporting it since it came out in February. It's awesome. It's the $10 DLC is totally worth it if you want the extra stuff. It's a badass game. Go play it. And I tell people who like Tetris who don't even have Switches, I'm like, Tetris 99 is so good, man. You gotta check it out. So that's my number 5.
Solid number 5. My number 5 is something that from the moment I saw a little preview of it, I'm like, that game is going to be one of my favorite games of the year. I was right about this one. Untitled Goose Game.
Oh, yeah.
I got that at number 5. Gushed about this game quite a bit on the show. It's been in the media a lot. It's got a lot of mainstream coverage. There was a goose puppet at the Video Game Awards. So
they broke 1 million, right? Didn't they?
What's that?
Didn't they break 1 million at least sales?
They did. Yeah,
they recently broke 1 million.
Yeah.
So not a lot bad to say about this game. I mean, it's just a fun, unique experience. It's a sort of sandboxy a little bit, but not so much. It's super chill. I mean, there are some parts of it that get a little tense, especially if you're trying to get the the timed goals and stuff. But your first playthrough, when you're just learning how to play this game and getting through the story at your own pace is just so cool. And it's just stuck with me. I haven't played a game like that ever before, really. That ticked all those boxes. You get to be an animal simulator, but it's not I don't know, it's fun. It feels like you're actually the animal. It doesn't feel like you're a humanoid character that's just happens to be an animal too.
Be the
It's
goose.
fun that the point of the game is to annoy people. It's not to, like, kill people or, whatever. It's just purely about annoying people.
And
you're pretty much the villain of the
placing their stuff in different places, pretty much putting their stuff in places where it doesn't belong or making them go find it.
I also think it's one of the leanest games I've played in a while, in the best sense. I mean, it's a 5-hour game, that going in, but there's not much fat on it. There's not much like wasted time. Every event feels special and unique, and it's a small area, but there's a lot to do in that small area. I never feel like I got stuck in the game, like, what should I do next? Where should I go? I think I completed it in an afternoon, and it was a great afternoon. And I did go back again to do all the other stuff after that.
Yeah, you did like the New Game Plus and all that, right? Like you went.
Yeah, I didn't do the final one. There's a final thing you have to check off where you're going and doing everything within a certain amount of time. But that's the only thing I didn't do.
Yeah, you made it further than I did, John. I only did a couple of those extra missions, but I look forward to eventually going back to it. And number 5, Untitled Goose Game by House
in the house.
My number 5 was an RPG, Super Blood Hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I love that game. I've said it before that I always like games like ice hockey or Mario Strikers, where you're just two teams batting a ball or a puck around, arcade style. Always been drawn to those kind of games. Now this one has, the hilarious sense of humor with the gratuitous violence, blood being sprayed all over the ice and left there for the rest of the game. It's very funny. Like the descriptions of the injuries just get ridiculous. It's always just, it makes me laugh every time I play it. Then, plus, not only is it the sports game, there's the team management aspect of it, which is really interesting. That you can, give your guys certain types of food to bulk them up, or you can even go out back to the alley and buy them drugs, get them steroids. It's I'll say, brutally funny game. Very dark sense of humor, in all the best ways.
Nice. Yeah, no, I get to play it at your house, and it's a lot of fun. And it's totally an RPG. It reminds me a lot of Golf Story, but a much more mature version of Golf Story, with a lot of death and sadness in it, and depression.
More Canadian, less Australian.
Yeah, yeah, right.
If you're watching live, I think it's still on sale for $4.50 or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, it's on sale a lot.
This game.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it seems to go on sale pretty often. All right, number 4. So number 4 for me, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, which I had an amazing time with that game. I haven't beaten it yet. I know I said that I would try to previously on the show, but too many games, man. Too many long-ass games came out this year, which is awesome, though. Like, long, incredible games. Fire Emblem, from what I played of it, I think it's probably my favorite Fire Emblem game that I've played. Pretty close to, and my two favorites before that were the GameCube one and the first Game Boy one. But I like how you have less characters this time around, and it's all about, just getting to know them personally, and getting, and you can kind of craft the way they go. Like you can decide which vocation they're going to end up doing, and how their job classes change. And I like the whole teacher aspect of it, like how you're in a school and you have all these kids, and there's these 3 different houses that you get to choose from, and they're all their own different stories. So if you were a kid and you only got this game, you got 300 hours at least worth of game in this, from the 3 different stories that all go completely different ways, depending on which house you pick. It's amazing how much content they put into this game. Not to mention the tea time that you can have that was so much fun, just hanging out with characters and trying to figure out the right question to ask them to get them to like you and to stay at the tea time longer and all that. And not to mention how much they progress, the turn-based battle system, the strategy battle system, and all that, and all this extra shit that you have in the game. Plus, I think it's a little bit easier than a lot of the other Fire Emblems, which is not a bad thing for me. But you can still, and of course, it has a casual thing where you can turn off the permadeaths and all that stuff. But yeah, no, all the time that I spent with this game, I really, really, really enjoyed. It almost kind of like, I wanted to like recommend it again to you, Jeremy, because it almost kind of reminds me a little bit of Pokemon, like the idea of like, you know, how they had like less Pokemon this time around. This, you have less people, so you focus more on the ones that you have. So I felt like I was more involved with the lives of my team and all that, and I felt kind of more connected to them, and I liked that. I thought that was cool. Like I really enjoyed it, and I like how they kind of, you know, they've been doing this for a lot of the Switch games, where they take a series that's been around for a while and they kind of like change things, like sort of like flip it on its head and try to do a different thing with it. And Fire Emblem was a game that I have many great memories for. I think I put like 40 hours into it, so I got almost like halfway through. And I really I hope to finish it some point. It's still up there pretty high on my highest played games on my system. And yeah, it's a great game. And I can't wait to play it again.
So I think the moral of the story is that you've said before, you don't really like an anime when people go to school, but
yeah,
it's fine with video games.
But I'm fine with this one, yeah. That's true. Yeah, you're right. Well, I mean...
Yeah, I've heard a lot of great things about this game.
But I'm the teacher this time. I get to tell them what to do. I get to tell them what to do, you know.
The student has become the master.
Yeah, no, I said that a couple times. I mean, Ringo had school in it too, and I was fine with that. Yeah.
All right, well, for my number 4, something that came out, another thing that came out kind of early in the year. I guess it was a little later in the year, but great music, great graphics, great gameplay. Katana Zero.
Nice. Yeah.
By ASCII Soft. Published by Devolver Digital. Actually, I think they published Gato Roboto as well. This game is just so fun. It has a mechanic where you slow down time and rewind. Well, yeah, you like rewind time. You don't really rewind time. You rewind back to the beginning, but you do slow it down when you need to. And it's one-hit kills, which is so fun in games like this.
Both ways, yeah. You and killing the people.
One-hit kill, you get hit by a stray bullet. Sorry, you're done, Buster. But you can hit bullets back at bad guys, so that's cool. You can kill them by slamming doors into them. So it had some gameplay mechanics that were very similar to Hotline Miami. I think I compared that a lot at the beginning, but this game ultimately ended up being a lot more approachable, I think, and a lot more. I felt like it was more like puzzly than what I had played of Hotline Miami. That was more just like strategy of like getting through it in a certain way. But in this, it's actually presents you with certain environmental things that you have to figure out a way to get around by hitting certain switches or doing things in a certain order. Not a very long game. They did release a little bit of DLC for it. I think it was just some like time trial type stuff. Or Time Rush or whatever they called it. But still, I mean, it sticks with me. I played it a lot, and actually ended up making. So Trey made a level in.
Oh yeah, it inspired me to make my first level in Super Mario Maker.
Which was which you had to kill, or you had to go defeat DJ Boom Boom Head.
Yeah.
Martana Zero.
Yeah, Martana Zero.
Yeah. And it ended up inspiring me to make Trey a beat art of Boom Boom with some headphones on and like with a record and stuff. So it's kind of cool how this game sort of had like a physical real world influence on us and beyond just the game itself. So definitely got to give it props for that. Also, the soundtrack's on Spotify.
Yeah,
I've probably listened to it dozens of times.
I bought the soundtrack, to support the artists and all that. And I mean that was one that like I really always wanted to have on my top 10, but it just didn't make it. And it's not because I don't love it, because I do totally love that game. It just, I don't know. It was up against like, and like I said, there's too many good games that came out in 2019 that it was like really hard for me to figure out what was going to make the list. And there are a lot that I really, really loved that didn't make it. And I just, I needed a longer list, I guess.
For me personally, I just had to be like, what did I have the most fun playing?
Sure, because that's kind of what I went with.
Even if I hadn't played the game in many months, like Wargroove, I had to remember like just how immersed and how much enjoyment I was getting out of it. So there's other games that had they come out later in the year may have shown up in different spots in this list.
Sure.
I just haven't gotten as into them as I did these. So number 4, Katana Zero. I highly recommend it. ASCII Soft, please make a sequel.
Oh, or like just give us an ending because it has that room that you can't go to at the end of the game. Like,
exactly.
please put something in that room. I want to know what happened. But yeah, no, that was an awesome game, and yeah, it almost killed me to not have it on the list. But yeah, I figured you'd have it on there, so it would still be represented. So I didn't feel that bad.
My number 4 is My Friend Pedro.
Oh.
I absolutely love this game. This was like balls to the walls action. And it's one of those games that just, it makes you feel like a badass. Every time I play it, it's just like, it's like one long extended action scene from a movie, just nonstop. You're bouncing off the walls, doing flips, shooting guns in 2 different directions, all in slow motion, twisting. It's like a ballet of bullets, kind of. And I have so much fun every time I play it. I know Trey came over and he tried it a little bit too.
Oh yeah.
You enjoyed it?
Oh yeah, no, I was gonna say, like, I actually think that Katana Zero and My Friend Pedro are like very, very similar games.
Yeah, I was gonna
I was wondering.
Suggest maybe that was the case. I haven't played Katana Zero, but they look very similar.
Yeah,
the style and action, all that stuff.
Oh sure, yeah, no, I was actually feeling a lot of Katana Zero vibes when I played My Friend Pedro at your house, and it kind of reminded me of a lot of the same thing, like, because they're both very stylized. They're both and they're both Devolver Digital, also, I believe, right? Produced. Yep. So I mean, yeah, they kind of remind me of each other. Like My Friend Pedro reminded me a lot of Katana Zero, so it's like kind of still in the same vein, like where it's heavily stylized, like getting from one area to another is its own like work of art or whatever, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's scenes where you're running through a hallway, you kick the door open, you jump onto a zip line which sends you down to the next floor, and you land on a skateboard, and you're going up a ramp, and then you kick the skateboard at the enemies, and like it just keeps going in that vein. The action is so creative, and it makes you feel like you came up with it, like you did that.
Oh sure,
and of course, the game designers designed it that way.
Yeah.
And then the ending is one of my favorite endings of the year. It's surprising and very appropriate for if you've played the rest of the game. It just kind of makes sense. Like, oh yeah, it's surprising at the same time.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's definitely cool, and yeah, that's the one I've had my eye on for like sales and stuff. Hoping to pick it up at some point, but yeah, no, it reminded me a lot of Katana Zero. Like they're very similar games. It's cool.
You also mentioned the music as well. Maybe it was the same person who did the music. I don't know. The music is just like, I would absolutely get the soundtrack to it and just listen to it independently of the game.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna have to check that one out.
Especially
reflecting upon Katana Zero and wanting more of that. Maybe Pedro's the answer for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I would suspect so.
Cool. All right. Well, let's move on to the top 3 here.
Wow.
Looking at my top 3 here, I'm like, man, I could almost like move 2 and 3. I feel like they're almost interchangeable. they're kind of like at the same level, but because they were in a different spot at one point for me, and then I kind of been moving them back and forth. But my number 3 is Pokemon Sword for the Nintendo Switch. Aside from all the toxic haters out there, I love that game. That game's a lot of fun. Pokemon Sword it's done a lot of cool things. Now Pokemon is finally on consoles. You can finally play it at home, the official Pokemon, not that Let's Go garbage that we got last year. Saying this is the real deal, man. You actually do it the way you're supposed to do it. No, I love this game. I was playing it last night, and I spent like an hour trying to find like one fucking Pokemon. And by the time I got to him, I ended up wasting like 20 fucking Ultra Balls on him to try to get him. It's like ridiculous how much stuff there is to do in this game. But I mean, I finally got him, thankfully. If I had wasted 20 Ultra Balls and ended up didn't get him, I'd be sad. But no, Pokemon Sword is great. Like I love the wild. The wild area is so much fun. Like I love that you can finally change the camera around. It feels so immense. There's like, or it feels so massive. There's all of the raid battles that you can do against the Gigantamax Pokemon. Make your Pokemon huge and all that is super cool. Like I played through a stadium for my niece when over at my mom's house, and she was a Pokemon fan like when she was a kid and all that. But yeah, her and my brother-in-law, like, they were watching me play the game and they were just super into it and all that, and it was, it was fun to do that. But yeah, and I love how you can see all the Pokemon now on the map. Like, there's no random battles anymore, and yeah, it's just been a joy to play. I think I've put like 30 plus hours in that. I have close to 200 Pokemon caught, and I've seen a little bit over 200. So I've been mostly just focusing on catching Pokemon. So and I think I have I think I have like 7, or no, I have 5 of the badges thus far. I'm going real slow through the story, but I'm all about catching the monsters. So that's what I've been doing. But no, that game's an absolute joy to play, and I figured it was going to be pretty high on my list. Like, it's been incredibly enjoyable. I like the graphics a lot, and I enjoy the characters. And the new Pokemon look fucking cool, man. I really love like the new ones they've been putting on there, like Toxtricity and fuck, what's it? I was just playing what Grookey turns into, the giant drum dude.
Oh yeah,
yeah, gosh, it's super cool. I was just playing it last night, and I'm just having a blank right now on it, but it's like a Rabillo, something like that. But yeah, the characters are really cool, especially was it Grimmsnarl? I like that guy too. They just I feel like they kind of like
Flaky and Rillaboom, yeah.
Rillaboom, yeah, that was close. So yeah, I feel like they kind of just threw caution to the wind or whatever on this one and just went kind of crazy with the characters, and reminds me a lot of Black and White, which is like my favorite Pokemon game of all time. So it's like, yeah, I like it a lot. It's so much fun to play. I wish the online service was a little bit better, but this maybe next round we'll get that global trade system up. But yeah, no, it's an awesome game, and I've been enjoying every minute that I've had with it.
Cool. Well, my number 3, you're expecting it to show up at some point, and here it is. Tetris 99.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Officially, I think the first game that's shown up on all our lists.
Yeah.
This game would have probably been a lot lower on my list. I think no matter what, it would have been in my top 10. But it's got new life breathed into it for me recently. I've been playing a lot more of it because my partner got into it, and initially she played a few matches. Oh, here she is right here. I told her she should say hi. So this is Shauna. This is at the car right there. She played a couple of matches early on, and I was like, "You're really good," and she's like, "No, it's just beginner's luck, whatever." So what we started to do was we got a big dry erase board, and we've been keeping track of our scores,
nice,
our places, taking turns. And by the way, she ended up buying the year of Nintendo Online just so she can play her own profile.
Nice.
We've been playing the heck out of this game, and yeah, we've been keeping track of our averages. We'll do 5 matches each, in our profiles, then average out the scores, and then just keep doing that. So she is consistently gets a better average than me. There's been one out of like eight matches of 5 where I got a better average than her, and it was by like 1 or 2 points. So yeah, it's just a great game. I bought the extra DLC. I play that on the bus all the time, like trying to work on my Tetris 99 skills, and I don't know what else I could really say about it that Trey hasn't already said about how great it is. The themes are cool, the weekly events are cool, or the monthly events rather are cool, and the fact that it was a shadow drop, not the bad kind of shadow drop that happens in Tetris, but
oh yeah, the good kind.
The fact that they dropped this game out of nowhere and it was so fantastic, like, definitely belongs in my top 10 for the year. So it's also up very, very high in my most played games. I think it's 4 or 5 on my Switch for time spent on it. So maybe one day Shauna will get her own Switch because she loves this game so much.
It's worth it just for that game. I think that game's a lot of fun. Go for it. It's worth having.
But yeah, number 3, Tetris 99.
Number 3.
My number 3 was Untitled Goose Game.
Boom. The goose.
Yeah.
The goose is loose.
Goose is loose.
2 there.
The goose is loose. Pretty high on the list. And I loved it. It was so charming. We talked about it already. I don't say too much more about it, but the style of the game, the look of it, I loved how clean it was. Like the minimal use of shadows. I thought it was an interesting artistic style. Very peaceful, easygoing. At the same time, contrast that with what you're doing. You're just being like a jerk. There's an interesting sort of balance there. Yeah, I loved it. I can't say too much more about it because it's all been said, but Untitled Goose Game. If you haven't played it, what are you doing?
Yeah, what the heck?
No title.
Get on the hype train,
great game. Even though there's no title, it's still great. All right, number 2. This is the big one. All right, so this is the one that I said that I could easily exchange with Pokemon Sword, but my number 2 is Luigi's Mansion 3. I've been a huge fan of Luigi's Mansion, like way back to when Jeremy and I played GameCube for the first time.
Yep.
And I feel like Luigi's Mansion 3 is the perfect blending of Luigi's Mansion and Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. We would always make fun of Luigi's Mansion 1 as being too small or too short and calling it like Luigi's Crawl Space. But Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon kind of did away with that. Instead of just giving you one mansion, they gave you multiple mansions. And when Luigi's Mansion 3 came around, they're like, well, what if we had multiple mansions, but what if they all were a different floor in one building? And that's basically what we get with this one. And it's just so much fun to play. Granted, I've only put about 15 hours into it, but I've been having a blast with every little bit that I've put in there. Like, I was playing around with the movie set one, and I found the fucking paper boat from It in there, and I was like, what? It's cool. And I found the fucking ring lady too. Like, I found her. She comes out of a well, with the hair in her face and all that. There's nice little nods to other stuff in there. No, it's so much fun. The animation is great. Like, the bosses have been fantastic. Like, I really enjoyed the levels on it. It's kind of one that what? The piano. Yeah, we saw, John and I, we witnessed the origin of the piano from Mario 64, which I thought was so cool. It's just so much a joy to play. Like, I love horror games. I love Luigi. Like, it's just kind of it was. I even thought about having it as my number 1 at one point, but there's, we all know who the number 1 is. They're hard to top. But yeah, it was. I really enjoyed the game a lot, and I can't wait to play through the rest of it. And yeah, it's. I think it looks fantastic too. Like I said, I just got a new TV, and man, it looks fucking awesome on it. Like, it looks so good. Like, I think the graphics look really good. I don't really notice any sort of I'm sure if you were particular in that, you might see whatever, the fuzzy side or anything like that. But I think it looks great from what I played. It has so much charm. I really enjoy all of the variety and the different levels. And for what I've seen, the future looks bright from the farther I go up this mansion of Luigi. But yeah, it's a dope game. I really enjoy it.
I absolutely love this game, and it speaks a lot about what went down this year. That I barely played it, even though I love it, and I'm going to play through it eventually. But gosh, it is a very beautiful game. I agree with you, Trey, and it was a day one purchase for me. Still haven't played much of it. Well, my number 2, this is starting to get a little echoey up in this room, but not quite the echo that the echo sounds a little different, because this is Pokemon Shield.
There it is.
I got the opposite version that Trey got. Same game, slightly different. I think there's 1 or 2 gym leaders that are different, and then the legendaries and a few evolutions and stuff are different, but same game. This game, like Wargroove, gets a special place in my heart because it's the first time a game, in this regard, Pokemon game, has compelled me to play all the way through. And I actually saw not only the first ending, but I got the legendary and saw the second ending. And there's probably more to do, even more. There's still plenty of post-game stuff that I haven't done, but I was compelled to play all the way through this game, and I spent a lot of time on it, and once I could breed, I spent a hell of a lot of time breeding.
Oh yeah, you went crazy.
It's just so addictive to do the surprise trade, and then get these cool Pokemon, and breed them, and try to send them to your friends, and give them names like NintenDomain, and send them out into the ether, and hope that we get more subscribers. Which I don't know if that's actually happened, but maybe it has. Who knows? Hey, if you randomly received a NintenDomain Pokemon in a mystery trade, that's just proof that my viral marketing scheme works.
Yeah, please let us know. NintenDomainPodcast@gmail.com. Let us know.
But Pokemon Shield, it's a great game. It didn't really have my confidence at first because You know, like I've heard at this point, most Pokemon games don't exactly shine in the story department, but it just kind of felt like it was rushing you through the beginning. But turns out that's a good thing because it wasn't a bunch of unnecessary tutorials. Once you get into the meat of the game where you're collecting Pokemon and training them and all that, that's the real fun. So I still have plenty to do in that game, and other things have distracted me. But it was actually kind of a welcome respite because it's all I played for several weeks there. Pokemon Shield, number 2.
Yeah, no, it's a great game.
My number 2 is Link's Awakening.
Boom.
There it is. Yes, I enjoyed this game. You know, at least as much as the Game Boy one, maybe even more. I mean, just it's an ideal remake because it stuck so closely to the template of the original, but it just amplified what was already there. Brought out the style. Like when you were playing Link's Awakening on the Game Boy, this is essentially what the game you had in your imagination as far as the style. You know, it was like just so cartoony and cute and like a little diorama. With the music, you know, they took the Game Boy themes and they orchestrated them with like a, you know, not like a full orchestra, but it's like a 7-piece or something, in a cute style. You know, little tiny sounding instruments. They just perfected the Game Boy game and put it on your TV screen in full color and made it look more beautiful. I love the game. It's so charming. I guess it says something maybe that my number 3 and number 2 games are like such charming, cute games. I don't know. Maybe I'm rejecting the Grand Theft Autos that I talk about. You know, yeah. I want to lean more towards the cute stuff.
I mean, we're all Nintendo fans, though. I mean, we
right.
I mean, we have a Nintendo dedicated show here.
And we all out like a fine cheese.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, I feel the same way. Like we're all Nintendo fans. Like we enjoy the cartoony stuff because I don't. For me, there's more art to that than like the gritty, realistic stuff. I think I'm more interested in something that looks more like a cartoon because that seems more artsy to me than something that looks like real life. I don't need real life. You know, this is my escapism. I want to get away from that stuff. So I prefer the more relaxed, cutesy, colorful stuff. You know.
Yeah, it was just a great experience, you know. I think I spent about 20 hours on it. Not a long game, but I didn't need it to be long. It was just a nice bite-sized experience. Yeah, and I got to get more into the Dompe stuff. I didn't try the stuff where you could make your own dungeons. It seems interesting.
They could have done a lot more with that, though. If they would have made it online, they could have given it so much more legs, like after the regular story, you know. As of right now,
if you could take it online and show other people your
if you could upload your stuff, or you could play other people's levels online. I'm surprised they didn't go with that. Maybe that'll be
a full-fledged Zelda maker where you can do maybe at least an overworld of some form, like maybe if it's randomly generated with the dungeons that you place yourself.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if it didn't happen in the future. Like, I think it's probably going to happen at some point. The Zelda Maker will. I mean, just from what we saw with, like, Super Mario Maker 2 and, like, with this, you know, it's like, yeah, for sure. No, I was hoping to finish this one. I made it to Eagle Tower. That's kind of where I was at when I stopped playing it. But, yeah, no, it's a super charming game.
I'm not proud of the fact that I had to look online, but, I mean, it also speaks to, like, the fact that it's a masterpiece of a game that they didn't really change anything about it other than the look.
Yeah, from 1993. You know, that's why
they put a few quality of life improvements in there that were definitely welcome as far as like being able to fast transport and stuff. But
the buttons, having extra buttons, so you don't have to switch to get the boots to run and all that. Yep.
Are you ready to move on to number 1?
Number 1. All right.
All right. We could try to. I mean, I think we could say our number 1s at the same time here, Jeremy, because I think they're the same.
I think they are.
I'll try to count it down and see if we can say it at the same time. I know there's like a weird delay on here, so we might not be able to do it. But all right, so 3, 2, 1.
Dragon Quest 11.
Yeah, it's not at the same time at all. But yeah, yes, I figured that was your number one because I haven't seen it yet, and you would not leave it on the list. I was actually, I wondered, I was like, before it came out, I was like, yeah, that'll be my number one game. And then, like, when it came out, I was like, well, maybe it won't. And then I started playing it again. Like, I've been playing it a lot on vacation. I'm like, it's number one. Like, there's no way it's not going to be. Dragon Quest XI is a fantastic game. That's a game I tell everybody to get that game because you can get the demo for free. I'm like, get the 8-hour demo. You'll find out whether you like it or not. You don't even have to buy it. Like, I love that you can just play the game for 8 hours and you'll be like, just try it out. And I've got a bunch of people into it through that demo, and yeah, it's fantastic. Dragon Quest is like my all-time favorite RPG series. I've said it before on here. I'll say it again. It's fucking great. This game is awesome. It's a lot of fun. Like, the story is great. The characters are great. The voice acting is great. I think another thing that's so great about it is, like, this was released already, like, a couple years ago on PS4, and they actually gave Switch the ultimate version. We get the 2D sprites, we get the orchestrated music, we get the Japanese voice acting, which was not in the other versions. So they definitely, like, really built it up. Plus, like, additional stories, like, for the characters, and the Street Pass stuff from the 3DS game. Like, they really, like, lovingly just put it together and made it, like, such a solid package for Switch owners. Like, I feel like it's probably one of the best ports there is on the Switch. Like, it's fantastic, and the game looks incredible. The battle system's great. The characters are awesome. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else more I can say about this. I'm gonna throw it to you because it's also your number one game.
It is also my number one game, and for many of the same reasons. I think that it's really, really great that we got this ultimate version because it just seems like it belongs on the Switch. Dragon Quest 11 just has this aesthetic to it that just feels like it could have been maybe not a first-party Nintendo game, but maybe at least like Nintendo published it or something.
Sure.
It's very, very. It's got some mature themes to it for sure, but for the most part, it's like really cartoony, really bright. All the enemies are hilarious, even in spite of how terrifying they may be in actual stats and stuff. And I loved it. I played it and played it and played it, and I saw the first set of credits, and then the post game is just opened up so much more to do. And I barely did any of the tackle missions. I haven't really messed around too much with the 2D. There's just so much left to do in this game, and it's already like, I think it's like my fifth it's up there in my most played games of all time on Switch. So it's definitely, it earned this number one spot handily. Like, there's just no way I could think of putting in anything else in first place this year. And it was that, where Octopath Traveler was pretty disappointing in its full RPG experience for me. I still enjoyed it and I still played all the way through it. This was what I really wanted. This is the kind of thing.
This is the real RPG.
Well, I mean, I wanted kidding. Like the characters to care about each other. It's a big part of an RPG.
I was just like, I was quoting the Toxic Avenger where they're like, this is the real sequel, of Toxic 4.
Yeah, the characters care about each other, or some of them just dislike each other occasionally, but they do care about each other. But
they talk, and you can talk to them whenever you want to. If you don't know what's happening, you can just fucking talk to them, and they'll talk to you. Yeah.
They say different things depending on who's in your party at different times, and I will just say, no spoilers, but the post game will blow your mind.
Yeah, no, that's what I've heard. And actually, I didn't mention it, but I was delighted that I made it through the octopus boss on my first try. I thought that was pretty
good
cool.
Job. That was probably the third hardest boss.
By the skin of my teeth, like, really, like I won with only one character left, and pretty much if I would have got hit again, I would have died. So it was like barely. It was by no means easy, but I did beat it on my first try, with only one character left, with them almost dead. So, yeah, but I did make it through. But yeah, no, it's a fantastic game. It felt great at the end
to just feel like I finally was a Dragon Quest fan. And I am, and now I have Dragon Quest
man.
on 3DS.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to help nurture your love of Dragon Quest and try to get you on the other ones, because there are a lot of really good games in that series. And that's one that I wanted to mention as like a honorable mention, was just the fact that Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3 also came out this year, and I think that's pretty awesome. You know, that even they may not be the best ports as far as like the way the sprites look, but that's awesome that you can play the first 3 games on the Switch, and they came out the same day as 11, which is badass. Is there anything left? Do you want to say more about Dragon Quest 11? I mean, we could talk about it, and hopefully
get the demo. It's free. Play it.
I'd like to do. I thought about like maybe doing a Patreon thing in the future where we do like a spoiler cast on the Patreon. So maybe we can do like a Dragon Quest 11 spoiler cast. I'd love to do a Link's Awakening one whenever I get through it. I know I'm the slow one on that one, so I'm trying to work on it. But yeah, but we'll do that. But yeah, what's your number 1, John?
Any guesses?
I know what it is.
I have a guess. I mean, well, I know what it is, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's Mario Maker 2.
Yep.
I loved it. You know, I didn't play the original, so I didn't have that to compare it against. But I had been watching YouTube videos of the original for like years, pretty much since it came out. And so when this finally got into my hands, I could jump on the Mario Maker train, and I was like all about it. I have not made as many levels as I'd like to, but the reason is just because like when I make a level, I want to really make it. I don't want to do like a half-assed level. There's too many of those out there. My one level that I did make, like, well, I made one just to try it out, check the tools out and stuff like that. That's pretty simple, pretty easy.
Yeah.
Then my other level that I really spent time on, I put 30 hours into that level, and I'm pretty proud of it. I like it a lot. I've gotten surprisingly into the multiplayer recently. I mentioned it a couple of shows ago. I think the multiplayer experience has been improved.
Sure, yeah.
I did something to tweak it to make sure that, well, first of all, now, if your connection's too slow, it lets you know ahead of time. It says your connection is slow and you're going to have a bad experience, or it won't let you sometimes if it's too slow.
Yeah.
Which I think is really helping out. I would say now maybe 30% of the time, only 30% of the time, there's some slowdown. And 10% of the time, it's like unplayable slowdown. The rest of the time, it's fine. Even comparable to just like an offline game. And it's really fun. Like when it is working well, it's firing on all cylinders. You got a great level. The speed is going. I mean, I'm just having a great time with it. So much creativity on display. The new Link Edition, as Jeremy had mentioned, it just adds so much more to the game. I actually got an idea for a level today that I think is going to be my next level. When I find I've got 2 days off, weekend off or something, I'm going to buckle in and make a new level. Yeah, I love it. Glad to be on board the Mario Maker train, finally.
And I'm glad you have a Switch and you're able to be part of the train as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I remember you hit that game hard when it came out.
I did.
I mean, you probably didn't you put like. I mean, have you put over 200 in there yet, or is it just over?
Yeah,
I think you'd be close.
200 hours last week. So what happened was, excuse me, I got the physical version, and so when I got Link's Awakening lived in my Switch, and I would think, oh, I should play Mario Maker, but you know, the act of putting the cartridge in, it is a little bit of a deterrent.
Yeah.
So finally, when I beat Link's Awakening a couple weeks ago, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, Mario Maker was home again in my Switch. And so I cracked 200 hours last week, and then as of today, I have 225.
Wow.
So I did 25 hours in the last, 7 days.
Wow.
So that's all playing, not making levels.
Yeah.
All playing, yep.
Yeah.
That's mostly the multiplayer now.
Yeah.
I love the multiplayer. I think it's great.
And in my disclaimer that I said earlier, Super Mario Maker 2 didn't make my list, but that doesn't mean that I didn't like it. I just didn't like it enough to put it on there. It just was. It was kind of like what Jeremy was saying. Like same thing. It was not Super Mario Maker 1 for me, and it took me. I mean, I finally beat the single player, but it took me a while to do that. Even I don't know. I guess I kind of felt like it should have been more for me personally, and that they should have supported it more with more stuff.
Well, I'm hoping that the Link thing just came out 3 weeks ago or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that there's more to come along those lines. And maybe that's why they didn't put out the skins that they did for the first one, which were, just skins, just costumes. But they actually made like a whole other character with Link. Maybe they're trying to do that. That's my hope.
Yeah, I would definitely like to see them do more of that. That'd definitely be great. Well, do you want to, let's talk about our number one games as a show here. I've been tallying them here as we've been going through who we have the points. I'm just going to say the top 5, because I'm not going to go through all the 10s, because there's going to be a lot of ties for that. Because weirdly enough, there are only a few games that there's only 4 games that I think we actually had in common of all the games that we have on here, which is interesting, So of course, the number one game of NintenDomain is Dragon Quest XI, because it got a double number one spot, so that gives it a whopping 20 points. But not too far behind that is Tetris 99 with 18 points.
Wow.
Because all of us put that game pretty high, which I think is fantastic because I love that game. Like I said, I almost put it at number 2 just because I tell everyone to play it, and I play it all the time, and it's fun. It's been keeping me in it. Like I could play it right now and have fun with it. Like I don't feel like it's lost its charm, and I've always enjoyed Tetris, and it's nice to play it like this. And yeah, it's cool. It's a very cool game. Everybody should play it. So Tetris number 2, Pokemon Sword/Shield has a 17 points. Coming in at number 3, Super Mario Maker 2 coming in at number 4 with 15 points, and then Untitled Goose Game coming in at number 5 with 14 points. So that is our top 5 as a show there. So there's some pretty good ones there.
Yeah. Do we have any notable honorable mentions? I know you mentioned just feeling bad about not putting stuff on there, Trey.
I want
Link's Awakening for me, but one I really wanted to throw on there, but I couldn't find a spot for it was the Labo VR.
Oh yeah. I did think. Yeah, there's a couple ones that I'm actually surprised that none of you guys put the Super Nintendo games on there.
Well, that was my number 11, so that was my first honorable mention.
Because
I didn't consider that we could put that on there because we did have the NES games last year, didn't we?
We did, yeah. We did, and that was on my list, was the NES games, but last year was a little bit less than this year, so it's like there's no room for the Super Nintendo games. As much as I love playing them, and it's cool that I have Star Fox 2 on the go now, it's like,
I don't think that I would even
wasn't
put
enough
it on there, not to slight the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
But it was just such a great year for original Switch games.
Oh, sure, yeah. I know, it was a killer year. Like, I'm actually kind of afraid to see what next year is going to be like, because what do you got left? Well, next year, hopefully, we'll get... this year. I it's been like a few days into 2020, and I keep saying next year. 2020. I'm hoping that Breath of the Wild 2 is going to come out as a holiday title, which I think would be very smart, especially with the new consoles coming out this year. It'd be the best way for Nintendo to sell more Switches, or to just keep people on the Switch would be to do another Breath of the Wild game, which I'm hoping will happen. But also, Animal Crossing is huge. I'm predicting it now. I'll be really, really surprised if Animal Crossing doesn't make my top 10 of the year. There'd have to be some... Actually, I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's possible for it to not be in my top 10 of 2020, just because I enjoy Animal Crossing so much. And I'd love to... that was the game of the year. New Leaf was when that came out, So, spoilers, I guess shouldn't have said that, because that's a Patreon episode that you should pay for. But yeah. No, I guess tied for 6 under that was Link's Awakening and Luigi's Mansion 3, and everything else is kind of a little different. I was actually surprised that Luigi's Mansion didn't make your list either, Jeremy.
Yeah, it's like I said.
And Link's Awakening.
I don't have no qualms with it. I just didn't play it enough to really put it on the list.
I'm surprised you didn't put Link's Awakening on there, because you were so hot on that one when it came out, and so hot on your controller, using the digital pad and all that. I figured it would make your list somewhere. And I don't dislike Link's Awakening, but I still feel like the way the game is set up for the Game Boy is kind of super obtuse and sort of annoying at times to play. So I kind of had a hard time getting enjoyment out of it, because of just
I think much like the
map is set up
Nintendo
and all
Online,
that.
the Super Nintendo Online, it was easy to push it down a little bit, because it's a new game, but it's not.
Yeah.
And everything else was original.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, and it's a remake, but it's a very pretty remake, and it plays really well. It's just, it was up against too many RPGs for me, and just and I kind of I mean, I had my list sort of set out for a while. There were some guys, like Ring Fit, kind of like punched its way in there, like when I when I got that one, just because I was so impressed with the way it worked, and how much of a joy it was to play. Aside from like the pain of it and all that, but that's part of it. But no, there were a couple ones that I wanted to mention real quick. I know we're kind of on the longer side of this, but it is our 200th episode, so that is to be expected. But just want to say a couple honorable mention stuff, and then we can be done with this episode. I just want to mention a few ones that I really, really liked that I would put in the list if it was longer. Star Ocean First Departure, which came out, or First Departure R, which came out in December, which I really, really enjoyed. Most importantly, Turok Dinosaur Hunter, the re-release. I fucking had
I forgot I bought that this
so
week.
much fun with that game. Yeah. I love
that. To mention that I did buy that game.
I love that game so much. Like, I love Turok 1, and I love that it got re-released on the Switch, and I had a blast playing it. I even played it at a Switch event and got and turned a lot of people's heads on that because they remembered that game and they didn't realize it was re-released. That one was actually on my top 10 for a long time, and I was adamant to keep it on there, but in the end, I just couldn't. It had to fall off, but I love that game. Love it. And the Grandy HD collection I actually had a blast with as well, and that was also on my top 10 for a while, but I just couldn't fit it in the end. But I really hope to play more of those because they're both really fun games, and I still stand by them being one of the best turn-based RPG games on the system right now. I mean, obviously not as good as Dragon Quest XI, but I think it's up there, and I think it can stand toe-to-toe with the Final Fantasy stuff that's on there. So, I mean, that's how I feel about those games. Also, I already mentioned the Dragon Quest 1 through 3, and also Astral Chain was a pretty awesome game that I hoped that I would have been able to fit on there somewhere. Not to mention like Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, which I didn't get to mention. It was just that month where they did like game after game after game after game. Really good. Deltarune also, yeah. And like you were saying,
Baba Is You,
like
was
the VR,
really good. Extermination Force.
Yeah, I thought Baba Is You might show up on your list as well.
The Stretchers was really good.
Stretchers, yeah. And I played a lot of Mortal Kombat 11, but I mean, I liked the game, but it wasn't really a top 10 for me. But I still think it's a good game.
New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe, that was a great game.
Yeah, you played that one.
January 2nd, I think.
Yeah. Oh, and
last year.
Yeah, Tales of Vesperia. That was one I got earlier also.
Time Spinner,
yeah.
So much good stuff this year.
Yeah, lots of really, really solid games. And there were some games that I got that I didn't even play and I still feel bad about, like Seiken Densetsu 3, which I still really want to play, but have barely even touched it. It's just, I think I'm gonna. One of my resolutions for 2020 is I'm gonna try to buy less games and just try to play the games that I have. Is what I want to try to do. So we'll see how long that lasts for. But that's
for sale.
That's what I'm gonna try. That's what I'm trying to do. Yeah. And try to buy some of those games that I have that I know I really want to play, but I just did not play, like Seiken Densetsu 3. So that's where I'm at. Do you guys have any sort of stuff you want to say about this year that we're in right now? I keep calling it next year, but 2020, like gaming resolutions or whatever. Or games that you're looking forward to, stuff like that, or honorable mentions, whatever you want to say for the last 5 minutes here.
I'll just second the Labo VR, just for the ingenuity of it, for the thought of having some semblance of VR on the Switch. It was interesting, but it was not good enough for me. I mean, I literally played it about 2 hours.
Well, you never put the blaster together, man. You didn't even play.
No,
you didn't even play the game that was in there. That blaster game is a lot of fun. It's an on-rail shooter, which I wish more games would do that. Would just run with that and make it available. But it was.
Yeah, I mean, I probably will put it together at some point. But it's just I don't know. It was a little bit of a disappointment to me overall. It's a novelty.
Oh, yeah,
that's okay. But,
yeah, it definitely is a novelty.
Yeah. That's really my only honorable mention. Yeah, everything else, I got it on the list.
As far as 2020 goes, for me personally, nothing's really jumping out as much as Animal Crossing, of course, and then just want some more information about Metroid, and want some more information about Breath of the Wild sequel.
Sure, yeah.
And I want to see what Nintendo's got up their sleeves to combat the the new console launches, if anything? Like, what's going to be their big, their software competition, or are they going to announce a new Switch or a new handheld?
I figured it would be
every year.
Yeah, I figured it would be just like the Majora's Mask again. I mean, that came out when the PlayStation 2 launched. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I figure they're going to do the same thing where we're going to get our Breath of the Wild 2, which, more power to you. I mean, Breath of the Wild 1 was great. I'll play it again. Or I'll play a new version of it, whatever. Or the sequel, whatever they're doing with it. I want to know.
Maybe it'd be appropriate to mention now there are some rumblings of Direct, as there always are, but there's
always
two bits of evidence that might support it. They say that their maintenance schedule is listing a distribution of update data on January 6th. And then also GameStop has just added 12 Switch SKUs to their upcoming games.
Yeah.
With no names. So.
Okay. Yeah, no.
Who knows? You might get more information on 2020 real soon.
Yeah, I mean, they always have a January. Well, I know it was a February Direct last year. Was when the Tetris 99 one happened. But yeah, people normally expect like a January, February, whatever, round the corner type stuff. And of course, we will bring you that next week. But if you guys don't have any other honorable mentions or anything else to mention on this, I think we can call this an episode, our deluxe episode.
Yeah, thank you for checking out our 200th episode.
Yeah, which I might not even edit. I might just throw it up as is because we did it live right here. But yeah, if you like listening to us and you want to support our show, because our show is independently funded by ourselves, we don't get money from anybody aside from a select few fans. You can go to patreon.com/NintenDomain podcast and support us, where you will get a bonus show a month on there, which you can only get on Patreon. So you can listen to our last episode that we did, where we talked about games of the decade. We talked about our favorite games every year for 10 years, and I think it's a really good episode. I enjoyed listening to it while I edited it, so hopefully you do the same.
And it did not include our number one from 2019.
It did not, no, because I did not want to do any spoilers yet. So it's kind of a companion piece to this episode. So if you want to go back and listen to that, well, if you want to drop $1 to us, you can listen to that. And of course, there's versions of the show without commercials and all that stuff on there, and you get a higher bit rate, all that fun stuff on the Patreon. So check that out. And we've been your hosts. I'm Trey Johnson.
I'm Jerry Mikowski.
John Nitter.
And of course, if you watch this on twitch.tv/NintenDomain podcast, thanks. I want to try to stream all of our episodes now. We'll normally be doing them at like midnight on Wednesday. This week in particular, I want to do it on Friday just because of, crazy schedules and stuff like that. But yeah, you can find it there. We have a website, NintenDomainPodcast.com, or you can check us out at YouTube.com/NintenDomainPodcast, which I'm going to put this video on there as well, so you can check that out. And yeah, hopefully next week we'll be talking about some direct stuff and other news and that type of shit. Thanks for listening to us. We will see you next week.
See you.
All right, thanks for staying up, John. Sorry, I knew it was going to go longer. I didn't expect it to go this long, but...
Oh, no trouble. Yeah. That should be all right.
All right, cool. Well, I'll let you guys go.
Are we off streaming?
Yep.
Oh, wait. No, we are still streaming. You're right.